I think it's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
Oh, I love that song so much.
I do too, man. If I need to get jazzed in the morning, it is just Tank by the Seatbelt. That's all that it is. So,
and we're getting new. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, but Netflix gave us a taste of the opening for the live action Cowboy Bebop.
exciting!
My goodness,
It is great. It is so good.
Yeah, I think the only trepidation. Oh, what's the name of the kid? That's the only character we haven't seen.
Oh, is it Mel?
Mel, yeah, I think so. That's the only thing that I'm like, okay, what are you guys gonna? Because I know if you've seen the show, there's a lot of ambiguity to the character. So I want to know, how that's gonna go. So we'll see. But welcome everyone, we're back. Welcome to our Batman Day Extravaganza. That's a week late, but it's okay. Every day is Batman Day if you believe in it.
Hello, true believers.
I stood in the mirror and said Batman 3 times. Hasn't appeared yet, but I'm holding out hope.
I think it's 5 times.
Oh shit! Well, I didn't know that. Yeah, all right. Anyway,
speaking of, I got Candyman double feature in the docket.
Oh shit! Real?
Because I've never seen the original one, and then the new ones on VOD. I look Clay.
You haven't seen the original. I get excited because I'm always curious what it is.
Good morning, everybody in the chat. Thanks for watching.
Hey, live. Good morning.
Because we were talking before the show about Secret Wars, and it took Daniel a while to get around to we were talking about the Jim Shooter Secret Wars, the original one, before he was born.
Well, to be clear, before Daniel was born, not Jim Shooter. That would be weird.
that would be a feat in comic book making.
It's just from the womb, pages just flying out. So.
Like a fax machine out of control.
Oh, I guess his mom must have worked at the Marvel office.
They're just finding trails of paper, and they're like, this story's great.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Kyle couldn't join us due to technical difficulties. So we miss you, Kyle.
We miss you.
Yeah, I hope your computer gets better. But let's move on to we have a lot to catch up. We haven't done the show in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I have been down, and I'm very sorry to our patrons. I will get in touch with you about stuff.
Neil, if you're watching this, I'm going to hit you up because we need to send you something.
Yes, answer your email, brother.
But we have let's move on to our previously on next issue because, like I mentioned, we have a lot of stuff to kind of talk about and catch up and things we've been watching, reading, and doing. There's a lot of good stuff out there, I will say. So let's go ahead and get started. Josh, you want to kick us off? I see a few things in your list that I want to talk about as well. So.
Yeah, sure. I have not read any comics. I've been really, really busy. I've got a deadline coming up.
One job, Josh. You had one job.
I know. Look, if I could show you my desk right here, it is just stacked with books and notebooks because I'm writing something currently. So I've got to get this done by next week.
To be a scholar.
Yeah, sure. It's a life, let me tell you. But but I have been watching a lot, mainly because a bunch of stuff came out. So at dinner, we're all like competing to watch everything that came out. So I've been watching the new seasons of What We Do in the Shadows. Not very far into it yet. We're only, I think, maybe 2 or 3 in. We've been watching the new season, or I've been watching at least the new season of AP Bio, which is just solid gold.
So good.
So good.
I got to get Peacock again.
Hit me up afterwards, Clay.
Have you for What We Do in the Shadows? Do you know what episode you're in? Have you gone to the casino?
No. Yeah, we're.
Okay.
I think we just.
I think you must be one behind then.
Yeah, we're only up to 3, maybe.
Okay.
But Kristen Shaw's been in them, right?
Oh yeah. She's so great.
She's gold. I love her.
I mean, she's always gold. She's never not gold.
I'll tell you this. Something about this season just makes me love Matt Berry so much more.
Wait. This season, not
no. I already loved him. I mean, Jackie Daytona, Chef's Kiss.
Fucking gold.
God, yeah. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
But this season is like they just let him loose, like, or even more off the leash. I don't know. There's something going on. I think it has to do with it feels like they're doing Nadia and what's the name of the other
Laszlo?
Laszlo?
No, not Laszlo. The other vampire.
Shoot. They always say his full name.
The Impaler. Yeah. Well, it feels like they're pairing them off too to deal with the whole council of
no, is that
Yeah.
not Laszlo?
No, Laszlo is Nadia's husband.
Oh,
so Laszlo's he's hanging out with Colin Robinson.
that's it. Yeah.
So
With all the vampire pornography, that just cracks me up.
he just every time Laszlo just makes it like he's not even making jokes. He's just talking about his life and all the sex that is involved in when you're a vampire, and it's hilarious. Matt Berry's a treasure.
Oh yeah, I just all right, I'll just jump in. So the other thing I've been watching is my daughter, of course, big Doctor Who fan, but we've mainly watched classic Doctor Who. She's seen bits and pieces of like the new series here and there. So about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, she's like, I was like, look, we've got to watch. You've never seen from the beginning the series when it came back. I've opened a Pandora's box because every night she's like, so are we watching 1, 2 Doctor Who's? Like, come on, let's do this, right?
McGann, are you starting with Paul McGann? Because I know that's your favorite.
Well, we watched that one this summer. So we watched the TV movie this summer, and she's reading a few of the books. I pulled out my old books, and she's gone through those and the audios. But no, we started with Eccleston. And as what happens to everyone when the show came back, she fell in love as I fell in love with Billie Piper as Rose because she's just so damn good. Yes. And now we're in the Martha season, which is not my favorite season.
Yeah.
But I had forgotten because I am a huge fan of and a huge advocate for Donna as a companion. As much as she gets shafted in her season, I forgot that she gets introduced before the Martha season. I thought it was the Christmas special after the Martha season.
The Runaway Bride?
Yeah. So we've seen that already. So yeah, we're kind of plowing through them, and she's just obsessed, which is great. But I mention it because now that we know that we're going to get a new doctor, Hazel keeps pressing for Matt Berry to be the doctor. And I'm like, I would like that. I don't quite know if he's got the gravitas to do it, but
change the whole tone of the show.
It would
just to get Matt Berry.
That would be worth it. It would. But news item: Russell T Davies just got rehired to come back as the showrunner after Chibnall, which I'm super hyped about because I think in rewatching these, Davies just gets it so well. And really set up the Doctor for a brand new generation without like rebooting it.
Yeah,
it's just so brilliant. So I'm really glad he's coming back. But been watching that. Been watching those new seasons. I will say, if you've not seen AP Bio, if you've seen the trailer, you know that Bruce Campbell shows up as Jack's dad.
Yep.
It comes earlier than I expected. And it's doing some really interesting stuff with Jack. So I just watched that one yesterday. Anyway, so it's and Bruce Campbell's fantastic in it. He is really, really good. So
all I'm gonna
what's
say.
Ghost?
Oh, you go ahead, Daniel, and then I'll.
I was just gonna say about AP Bio. I've watched the full season. It's definitely worth the $5 just to be able to watch everything because
That's
it's already
what I
all
did.
out. It's
Yeah.
already out. So you know what I would do, Clay? I would wait till October, get it then, and then you can watch Halloween Kills and AP Bio because they're releasing. Yeah, because they're releasing
through Peacock though.
Yep, Halloween Kills is coming out through Peacock. So then you're paying $5 to watch the movie, and you get to watch AP Bio as well. Okay. And the ad version is not too bad. Like the ads, it's not like one ad at the beginning up front.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of Hulu, so a lot of ads.
Well, and even there, I've noticed Peacock's ad server doesn't always kick in. So like you'll get the first one, and then it'll go for an ad, and then it'll just pause for a second, and then it'll just keep playing the show. So. But no, seriously, Clay. Afterwards, I'll hit you up on Discord.
The last thing on AP Bio is the cult. There's a cult episode.
Yes, that's so good.
Fantastic.
It's so good.
Man,
oh my
I
god,
missed that show.
That's all I'm gonna say.
With a like a blink and you miss it special appearance by Edie Falco.
Yeah.
So it's great. It's great. All right, so Ghosts. I think I've mentioned it here before, but it's very pertinent right now. So season 3 of Ghosts just dropped on HBO Max. Ghosts is a BBC show. Basically created by the people, the cast of my daughter's favorite show, Horrible Histories, which is like a kid's show about history, but it's like super funny and adult. And I mean, I sit down and watch with her. It's great. But Ghosts is this whole concept where there's an old mansion in England that gets inherited by a very young couple. And the mansion is inhabited by just, generations and generations and generations of ghosts. There's like a prehistoric man. There is a woman from like the 19th century. There's a romantic poet. There is a former like Boy Scout guy, and and so what happens is in the first episode, they're trying to scare them out because they don't want them there. And she hits her head. And when she comes to, she's able to see and hear the ghosts.
Oh.
And the show is just knock it out of the park funny, but it's that kind of British funny where it's not like, it's incredibly subtle, but it is, I mean, we are obsessed with it. It is so good. I bring it up because at the same exact time in, I think like a week or two, pretty soon, the American version of Ghost is going to premiere and it just looks awful. It looks really, really bad. I'm going to give it one episode, but I don't think it's going to be good. Just go watch the original. It's on HBO Max. It's fantastic.
Is it on your Plex server by chance?
It's not.
Okay.
It's been like, what's weird is I'm really pleased it's actually on HBO Max because it's really hard to get it here in the States. You can't buy it streaming. I may try and just double down and buy like the UK DVDs and rip them to my Plex server. So if I do, I'll let you know. But yeah, it's a fantastic show. It's really good. So
I think you've talked about it before or hinted at it a little bit because now that I know that there's an American version, I think that's what I remember seeing and going.
Me too.
Why the hell would they do that?
Yeah,
I think I've seen ads for the American version, and I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, it's about to premiere soon, and just I don't know. I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but I can't because so much of what makes Ghosts good is the rapport of the cast. This cast has been working together for a long time.
Yeah.
And there's people in there you would recognize, I think, just from other stuff like well, anyway. But yeah, it's great. It's very great. And so I think it's hard to transfer that to like an unknown cast who's never worked together. So
I think the worst British remake of any or worst American remake of a British show has to be the IT Crowd.
Yeah. I
have a copy of that, and the Red Dwarf one is pretty fucking awful too.
Isn't that Joe McHale? Joe McHale's in it, right?
It's Joe McHale and oh god, I just blanked his name. The actor that plays Moss. I mean, like they kind of
Richard Ayoade.
Yeah, they went in with like the good intention of like we have an original cast member, right? Like, but it just, God, yeah, it's awful. I've seen bits and pieces of that. So,
and I think really it's that first episode doesn't vary from the British version at all. And I mean, Joel McHale's not bad, but he's not. He has the snark, and the snark doesn't work in that. So there's just something just didn't work in that.
I think that the snark doesn't work without the accent, because then you're just like, oh, you're just an American jerk. I don't care about you.
well, but also the snark doesn't work because he's not always just snarky. He is deeply flawed and really, really scared.
Yeah.
And we know Joel McHale can do that because he does that in Community. But
I think he figured it out.
It takes a while for him to get there, right? So
yeah, I also though think like in the Red Dwarf American version, Craig Bierko played the lead, and he's like he has kind of the snark, but it. Like, do y'all feel like Red Dwarf's pretty kind of a snarky show?
I don't know anything.
It's
about
just
that
dry
show.
British humor because I feel like there's a little bit of snark to it.
Oh yeah, no, certainly, but it's not the main source of humor.
Oh
right?
no, most of it's like absurd sci-fi.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. I hate remakes from but then I love The Office. So if you give me a home run,
but think back to the first Office episode. It is a beat for beat remake of the first episode. I mean, that's how these American things happen, which is why I'm curious what they do with Ghost, because I know at the very least they slightly change the way that she hits her head because it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like lawyers are like, we can't show this other way because I'll just spoil it. In the original, they push her out a window. Like she's like on an, second story window. She's like looking out of it. And there's one ghost that can manipulate objects. And so he like pushes her out the window and, she's fine. She like hits her head and, wears like a neck brace for 3 episodes, but she's okay. But I wonder if like American lawyers like, oh no, kids will jump out windows to see ghosts. And I'm like,
yeah, but have they seen Game of Thrones?
Right. I know exactly. This is what I don't get. It just
an adult kicks a child out the window.
Yeah. I can't fathom exactly.
Well, anyway. I'm going to try to track down the British version.
All right.
I'm very intrigued now.
If you can't tell me, and I'll see if I can get, because I've been meaning to get the DVDs anyway to put them on my Plex server. So
okay.
But anyway, that's it for me. I've not read anything else. That's it.
All right, Clay. Let's go on to your stuff, and then.
Well, I have read some stuff. I read Rorschach, and you guys have not finished, right? So I will not spoil any of it. I think it deserves a deep dive because I have a lot of questions. This is not standard Tom King for me. This doesn't execute the same way I got Vision or his other books. So I really want to talk to you guys when you get through it. So I think that almost could do an episode on its own. And I think it's going to require some comic book history too.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does it feel like in less like Tom King stuff, but does it feel more like Watchmen in the sense of how the show felt like Watchmen without just regurgitating Watchmen? If that makes sense.
At times, yes. At times you do get that vibe because you are in this world that has no cell phones. They still have beepers. They have, there is a, it's not quite it's an analog digital hybrid. Like they're almost there, but that's their limbo. That is the Watchmen.
Kind of like in Gotham, where you couldn't really tell what time period it was because there was a lot of old looking stuff, but there was also a lot of like new looking technology and
because they still had
you could have an old car and a cell phone.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like Batman the animated series in that way, right? Like it has this look and feel that is, very like Art Deco, 1940s, 30s, 40s, right? But then there would be some very contemporary stuff in it. So
yeah, Yeah, I really want to dig into Rorschach with you guys and just see, because this is the first. No, I did read some of those After Watchmen books, and some of them were all right. I think the Doomsday Clock was probably the closest one I appreciated out of all the post Alan Moore stuff. I'm just gonna go ahead and skip it from here because I just want to get into spoilers. So
Okay, we'll revisit this once we're all caught up, because I think we all like Tom King. I think we're very excited about this Rorschach series when it was announced.
Mm-hmm.
So
because he was dipping his toe in this world that others have played in, and he seems to always take a character and make them sadder and more depressed or darker. And I was like, how the fuck do you do that to Rorschach? And and I just want to talk about it. I'm really at that point.
Life finds a way.
You guys finish and text me when you're done.
All right.
Okay. All right.
I also picked up Magic since I started playing Magic: The Gathering. They put out a comic with Jed McKay writing, and we love Jed McKay, or at least I have loved the stuff that he's been doing.
Yep.
Though this first issue made no sense to me. It was really kind of hard to follow, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I don't know." I dig him, so maybe I should just put my trust in that he's going to get me to the right place. But the art is fantastic.
Oh.
And I don't know how to say the artist's name. It's IG. Is that just Iguara? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Iguaro? That's who's listed as the artist. And the art's fantastic. It really blows me away on a first issue how well everything looks. And I mean, splash pages, beautiful colors. I'm going to keep buying it. The only thing that sucks is it's been out, so there's like 6 issues out. My shop is missing the second issue, but it has all the variant covers. So if I wanted to get a second issue just to read, it'd start at $10 and go up from there.
God.
Yeah, I know. Some of us just want to read and support our local comic shop.
I'll check my shops, Clay.
Yeah, because I think they have the other issues like all covers, so they're still good.
Okay.
You guys know, I mean, I'm a big nerd when it comes to like, fantasy and gaming stuff. I have never been able to get into Magic lore. Ever. Like
that's what I'm hoping to get into with this.
Okay, all right, because I find it like at some point when the lore began to be codified, because early on, and I played Magic right when it first came out, there really was no lore. It was just new sets. But when the lore began to be codified, it was so far along that I was just like, I don't have time. I don't have time to like go back and learn all this. So
yeah, I got one of the new packs, and the new pack has I've never seen this before, but it has the ability, you buy a pack, you can play a game, but you also build a story with it. And the story is also part of how you can win. So if you have a great story, it had a card in the pack that explained the new rules for this set. So it's the Werewolf series. I forget what the name of the card series is, but I just picked up a new set at my local comic shop this week.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Cool.
I've been watching a lot of TV. I've been down with a kidney stone. I got a ton of other health problems, so I've been able to really sit and do much. So I have binged watched all of Superstore, and I fucking love that show.
So good.
I love that, and I think after the show, I'm just going to start it back up and watch it again.
Yeah, Justin Spitzer, right? I think.
Yeah. And I didn't realize he had worked on The Office, and man, for you young kids, and I'm talking to Daniel, have you ever seen Kids in the Hall? Did you ever watch Kids in the Hall?
Random Kids in the Hall, or
there was a comedy troupe called Kids in the Hall that were Canadian and had a sketch show on HBO.
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Wait, that's okay. Seriously, go onto my Plex server. I have the entire run on there.
I mean, it should be on HBO Max, right?
I don't know if it is.
I think it is. I think the last time I had it, I did see that it was on there. Kids in the Hall was weird comedy. It was absurd before. It was absurd after Monty Python, but before, I don't know any Americans that were really doing absurd humor.
I mean, SNL gets if you think of like the last few sketches of an SNL, right? When they're just kind of throwing anything at the wall. Yeah. That kind of, and even then it's not as good as the Kids in the Hall. So
I mean, their absurdist sketches is
I mean,
probably cheeseburger.
wasn't Jim Carrey? Didn't Jim Carrey come out of that?
No.
No,
That's in
He was
Living
in
Color.
Living Color.
Oh,
Did you ever watch In Living Color?
no.
I did.
I
Yeah.
don't have time to go back and watch all these old shows, guys.
What?
There's so many new shows.
But the new shows are
Came
pulling from
from-
the old shows.
When
That's
they
old.
talk about Jim Carrey and the best of Jim Carrey, you're going to get some of the best of Jim Carrey on In Living Color.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
Holy
you know-
shit! Okay, hold on. In Living Color.
So
What was the other show? I'm
it's
gonna
in the hall, but I just looked. It's not on HBO Max, so
not.
go
It's
on
on-
my Plex server.
It's on AMC service.
Actually, I think when I bought the DVD, it was put out by Acorn of all things, and they gave me like free digital version, and I could never get their website to work. So, yeah.
But Mark McKinney has always been hilarious, and I think he might be the best thing on Superstore.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, I
I think Mateo's really funny.
like
Mateo's-
Mateo.
I
who's
love
the-
Sandra.
But
Oh, yeah.
who's the guy who works the info desk? He's my favorite.
Oh, Garrett.
Garrett, yeah.
Yeah.
Garrett to me just kills every time he's on. Like I just
I
die.
relate a lot to Garrett. I totally get his distaste for work and everything about it. 95. I love his speech at the end. 95% of work is just shit.
Yeah.
It's just bad and it's not fun. But there are times when you work with people that are pretty decent and you have a good time at it. It was just so sweet. I love the way that show wrapped up. I just want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
very
I can't believe it didn't get hyped more.
I don't think it feels like every season something happened that it would kind of lose track of its audience. I mean, like the audience would lose track of it. I don't know. I don't think NBC ever really pushed it like they pushed some of the other comedies.
No, it seemed like a kind of like underground sort of thing. I mean, quite honestly, I learned of it through the ads on, I think, Hulu. And it would just be, like everyone says is like, the show that most has the pulse of current America. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. And
And it
Just fell in
did.
love.
It
That's
seemed
a-
like it knew that.
That's
Yeah.
a scary proposition to follow a show like that.
true. That's a good point.
Let's see here. And I am becoming a reality TV person for some reason.
Becoming? I thought you already were.
I looked at the rest of the shit that I've been watching, and Anthony Bourdain's No Reservation, you could call a reality show, but it's so, I don't know, it's intelligent, informative. It gives you so much about other cultures and food. I can watch that all the time, but it's like we have a lot of stuff we put on in the background while we work on other things, and this is one, but it becomes such a draw to your mind because of the way he talks and the way he writes about food and culture.
Tell
it
me
just sucks me
why I thought this was the Reservation Dogs.
Because you saw Reservations and you thought,
Yeah, I just saw
Reservations
Reservations. I was like,
No,
oh,
this
yeah.
is Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations.
Although I kind of feel like somewhere there's like a Anthony Bourdain's No Reservation Dogs kind of show that needs to be made, right? So
I would watch that.
no,
And then I watch Triple D. I'll watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives with Guy. He's a good dude, but you know what? Triple D has the worst spoilers because if you look up restaurants and they've closed, it's just kind of a bummer to watch that whole segment.
oh yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, I'll just put those on for food ideas. And then on Pluto, they carry a reality show that is just pure trash and I'm in love with called Party Down South. And it is just trash TV in the worst way. It is rednecks getting drunk, vomiting, partying, hooking up with chicks. I watch it every day and I love it.
All right. I'm so sad that you said that because I saw that in the show notes and I thought it was a sequel to Party Down. And I was like, oh, I want to watch this.
Like Adam Scott was coming back, but
Yeah, exactly.
going down to Texas to
Oh, this originally aired in the country music. There's a lot of
yeah, this
problems
is a
there.
CMT show. And so, but it's fascinating. I'm just fascinated by people in their 20s
Oh my
going
God.
out. And yeah, I'm just trying to tell you the things that they've done on the show that, like, oh man. So there's a guy on the show named Daddy. He is the guy in the tank top on the far left. He has done the most incredible thing I've seen on a reality show. And that is he hooks up with a girl at a bar, and while the girl goes into the bathroom, another girl comes out that looks kind of like her, but not really. And he grabs her hand, and he's able to drunkenly convince her to go home. And he thinks that that's the girl he's been making out with at the bar the whole time. This girl gets in the van, goes all the way home with him, hangs out at the hot tub, and when he tries to make out with her, she's like, no. And then he realizes at that moment, I've brought the wrong girl home.
Did they show with one of the bloops? I've made a huge mistake.
Because his head just kind of goes down, and then it kind of looks at her, and then he kind of puts his head back down. And as drunk as he is, he realizes this is the wrong girl.
Can we examine something? Does this guy have a tattoo in his chest that just says tattoo?
Yes. You want to guess what his tramp stamp tattoo says?
Tramp stamp.
Yes.
Because I was like, there's not a lot of words in the English language that have this combination of letters. And I don't think this individual would be somebody that would tattoo something that's not in English on themselves.
That is Murray. Murray is like
and I don't mean to talk shit about your friends, Clay. I'm sorry.
It's fascinating. I don't know. To watch people take their 20s, put it on TV, get drunk, hook up with random chicks that know that they're going to be going to a reality TV show set, which is the house, and have sex on camera under covers. Yeah. I mean, there are girls that just show up for one night, hook up and leave, and it's just...
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. All these people obviously have something wrong because they want to go on TV and they're not 100% right mentally. They have drinking problems, but there's one point in the show where they all sit around a fire and kind of just talk about their lives and kind of have this group therapy moment. And they all bond and they're like best friends and they go out and take care of each other. It is weird because they become this family and kind of handle their own therapy with each other, but then know each other's fuck ups and kind of put them in check sometimes too. But then they fight, pull each other's hair out. It's just, I mean, it is Jersey Shore for Texans, I guess. But well, I mean, there's a lot of Louisiana. There's only one Texan in there, Glenn. I don't know. I watch it every day. I'm something's wrong with me. I'm not right. But I am fascinated by the fact that we're going to have a generation of kids. There are reality shows I watch where adults will have their kids on, and I just go, that's just the worst thing in the world to do. You're gonna wreck your kids, and seeing all these YouTube vloggers who have their kids on, and the way they utilize their kids. We're about to have a new generation of mentally messed up kids because their parents have been staring at a screen or filming them their whole lives. So reality TV is going to take a weird turn in the future, and I want to see it. My last show, and I'm going to really hate on this, is Alter Ego. Have you guys seen this? Okay, so that's right. Party down south, they got family.
Now I know why you like it.
It's about family.
That's right.
Alter Ego is a reality show hosted by Nick Lachey, Grimes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what it is.
It is people who can sing using an image or a virtual image as their representation. Imagine a hologram of a character you create going out and singing. That's what it is. And
it's gorillas?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's low tech, and that's the thing that really will piss me off. Like, Will.i.am, he's the other judge. He's like a 5-year-old you put keys in front of and you jingle, and he loses his mind because he's amazed at everything. Everything that comes out, he's like, wow. Whoa, how did that happen?
I feel like that would be me on that show.
You know what the show is? The show is the first part of every video game where you design a character. So they give you the backstory on this person. It's like, oh, I'm a mother with kids. I want to put this forth this character of who I am to sing. Like, for some reason they can't get up and sing. And some of these people, you're like, okay, well, maybe they're not attractive, or there's something. No, there's attractive people in there. It doesn't matter. Then they all have characters designs, and they don't utilize the CG at all. So it's like, hey, I look like this character in Rock Band. And then they'll add like a flair, like, ooh, watch, we'll make his pants catch on fire. They'll flame up and have this effect like his pants are on fire, and that'll wow the audience. And that's like the one wow factor they bring into it, other than their singing. They all can sing. They're all right. But then they bring in this character that's like a character that's built in some shitty RPG game that just has like, oh, okay, so every character is bipedal, just has different color hair, different color skin. You put them in clothes that you don't add any texture to, so it looks very basic. It was just a waste of money and time. Like, watching the judges wow over everything, you just hate them. You're not impressed by anything you see in any of the show. And that's exactly what we went for. Is we looked at that and said, well, shit, why isn't their characters doing something cool like that? None of them did anything cool. They could have their character fly and perform, or spread wings, or, just do anything, and they did nothing. And it was like a waste of a pilot. Like, you could have really been impressive and done some cool CGI shit. And all it was some, like, basic character creation.
What would you make your character do?
Man, you could multiply yourself, make yourself your own backup dancers and singers.
That's cool.
You could, turn it into Scott Pilgrim and have some dancers in the background, some goth dance singer demons. You could have a lot of cool shit, and all their stuff was just like, hey, here's a hologram that walks out and sings. And Will.i.am was as impressed as hell, and I was just like, man, the show's just disappointing.
I think he's just impressed that he's on TV.
But that's my reality show trip. So I'm very sorry, America.
Yeah, you're the reason they keep making this stuff, Clay.
I know. And I'm just like, I watch 90 Day Fiance and all the spinoffs, all those trash people. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
You're doing it so the rest of us don't have to.
Let's
there you go.
Let's have a nice transition.
If we're talking about trash movies,
excuse me,
yes.
It's not.
It's really not. I've never made it through the whole way. I get halfway through, I'm like, Spider-Man 3.
It's not a trash movie. It's not a good movie, but I wouldn't call it trash. Anyways, well, it's a waste of time. We can revisit that later, at a later date. All right, so I'll go through my stuff. So first, I want to touch on. I have visuals. So here, let me. Is there a way?
I should have brought up my visuals too.
Oh, nice.
I'll do this to take you guys completely off screen.
I love that cover.
Yeah, Aquaman The Becoming. I reviewed this for the channel. Go check it out. It's really good, though. 6-issue miniseries that puts Jackson Hyde on the road to be the next Aquaman. Kind of like if you were reading the Future State stuff, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I read of course, Batman Fear State. It's going hard. So we have Batman, the Miracle Molly Secret Files.
Oh, that's cool.
And then Nightwing, Tom Taylor Nightwing is crossing over for 3 issues for the Fear State event. It's really good. All of the stuff is really good.
What is Fear State?
So Fear State is the last arc of Tynion's run on Batman.
Okay.
The premise is that this organization called the Magistrate is kind of teaming up with the Scarecrow. Their theory is that by inducing fear into the people of Gotham, they'll relinquish control, and then they'll be able to establish this like police state in Gotham.
Okay.
And then because Batman right now doesn't have his money because he lost it during Joker War, he's struggling to fight back, and Yeah, it's really good. The Scarecrow has never been scarier than. Yeah.
I'm in.
Jorge Jimenez gave him a. You can now read the Cowardly Lot, which is the previous volume, which is leads up to Fear State,
Okay.
which is where they introduce the Scarecrow and all the people. They introduce all the pieces that are in this event. And I think you can get it on Hoopla because they just released the collected edition.
Okay.
So yeah,
cool.
Tynion's run's coming to an end. So speaking of Jed MacKay, Marvel. I'll read anything that Marvel puts the death of in front of. So we have The Death of Doctor Strange #1 by Jed MacKay, Lee Garbert, and Antonio Fabela. It's an interesting premise about what the world would do without the Sorcerer Supreme, or who would fill in the gap. And if you watch the review I did for the channel, I feel like Marvel kind of wrote themselves into a corner with the last page reveal. So I'm interested to see where they're gonna go from there. Like, it feels kind of like a cop out, but I've read Jed MacKay stuff, and I don't think that he would do that. So I also read the Onslaught Revelation, which is somehow it's kind of like the last issue of Way of X.
Yeah, that's what I got sold in my comic shop. Was like, hey, are you finished with Way of X? I go, I didn't know it ended. He's like, yeah, it's over. So this will wrap it up. And I'm like, if it's over, then how does this different book wrap it up?
Yeah, because this is just a one shot. But I actually, going back, I really enjoyed everything that's being proposed in the Way of X. So I hope these threads continue somewhere. But I just realized Marvel is doing this tricky thing where they'll cancel one of their books, relaunch a miniseries that's really the last of the book. The Trial of Magneto is the same thing. It's just the last arc of the X Factor book. So
it's Marvel's #1, so people will buy it.
Marvel's being real tricky, and I don't appreciate that. We also have X-Men #3.
Yeah, I got that. Haven't read it yet, though.
Still really good. Like, I could just look at the art. I don't even need the story, but I'm glad we're getting the story.
Pepe Larraza?
Yeah, Pepe Larraza still.
Oh, nice.
And then TMNT, the last run in #4. We have one more issue to go on this, and it's really good. I don't know if you guys have been reading or even know what the premise is. It's in the future. It's kind of
you and Kyle have been talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to raise expectations, but I would call it like the Dark Knight Returns, but with the Ninja Turtles, like kind of that premise of like in the future, only one of the turtles is alive, and then you need to figure out which one, and then what that world looks like that they're trying to defend. So
can't we tell by the color of the mask?
Well, they're not wearing.
I'm kidding. The knowledge of my TMNT is that they shouldn't have colored masks. They all have red masks. So
how do I get rid of Josh? So that's all the physical comics I've been reading. For Comic Book Club, we read Matt Fraction and Steve Lever's Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
I didn't need to read that. Is that good?
So
yes,
it is good. The only problem is that I read it all in one sitting, and that book is not meant to be read in one sitting.
Really?
Because of the way it's told. Like, it's told, each issue contains like 3 different little stories, kind of.
Okay.
It's very dense.
It's an homage to like the
old Silver Age kind of. Yeah. Okay.
So there's so much going on, but I needed to read it before book club, and I procrastinated, and I read it all yesterday. But it's really good. Steve Lever's art is great. Like, it makes you feel like an old comic, but also a contemporary one. It's a fine balance that he finds. But yeah, it's bonkers, and I don't think it has really any effect on the current stuff. Like, but yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a great it's a great throwback to the old comic. The intros are all classic DC intros. So the first pages are always great. You know, what's up with Jimmy Olsen's pal, or with Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen today, and it'll go into, you know, he has weird adventures, and they kind of reference them and play on them. And that's the best part of it, is all this old crazy stuff that used to happen kind of really still happened and is still happening to Jimmy Olsen.
Oh wow! All right, that's cool. And I just assume every splash page has a gorilla.
There's a lot of gorillas, I will say.
I knew it.
There's more than I expected.
Yeah.
Well, go look at old Silver Age covers, and you will say the literal exact same phrase. There's more gorillas than I expected.
I'm still in the middle of reading Batman: The World.
I still need to get it. I tried, and it was sold out. So
Yeah, I think Titan still has some copies. So if you're in that area,
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of want to get it in print rather than just digitally because it's such a cool
yeah,
concept.
because you can
Yeah.
borrow it from Hoopla if you just want to read it.
Nah, I kind of want to get it.
But
How much is the hardback?
$25.
25? That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was more than that because
No,
okay. Well, shit. I'll try and run by Titan tomorrow.
yeah, it's pretty good. Like it's kind of an interesting. It's interesting to see what other countries or teams from other countries would do with the Batman property, which is a perfect segue into the next thing I watched. I watched all of Star Wars Visions.
Oh, okay.
If you guys haven't seen,
I haven't watched any.
I haven't either.
I highly recommend you guys watch those. It's 9 different movies. They're about 15 to 20 minutes each.
Can you watch them all, or should you watch them a bit at a time?
So I watched one. I would watch one and then do something else for a little while. So I watched since Wednesday. I finished yesterday, so I spaced them out only because I wanted to like. I hate when you binge stuff because you're really only thinking about like the latter stuff.
Yeah.
So because I wanted to do a video ranking all of them, and come into the channel later today or tomorrow. I would watch the episode, take some notes, and give him like rank it there, and then as I would add more episodes, I would move the list and stuff to try to avoid like recency bias. But I mean, all the studios, they've done really cool stuff. They've done things like Kill la Kill or Space Dandy, like things you would recognize in anime. So yeah, it's fun because it's just fun Star Wars stuff, like in a short burst that just kind of like if you didn't like this movie, then just go to the next one because maybe you'll like that would be more up your alley. So highly recommend it.
Are they all new characters or do they pull in like classic?
Everything is original.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So they're just in the world of Star Wars, but it's not like we get appearances by Chewie or
no, and for I mean I think they've already Disney said, because I hate when they do this because they have to get ahead of stuff like this. They've said this isn't canon or whatever.
Just let
Right?
it be canon, for God's sakes.
Right? Like, and I understand why they have to do that because fans are idiots. But I mean, it's whatever you like. It's what you want it
it's
to
not
be, so.
canon until it is.
Right.
Exactly. Just I hate this since they have to double down. And they seem to do it most with the Star Wars stuff. Like, they're not coming out saying, what if isn't canon? Well, of course, that's the premise, right?
Yeah.
But it's like they feel the need with the Star Wars property to draw a clear line in the sand between canon and not canon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, just let it all be. I don't
tell
get
a story.
Anymore.
Just tell a story.
I don't get it. So
I don't know if you guys remember that the Animatrix did something very similar.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And then Batman Gotham Knights, which was like a little animated movie between The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Or maybe Batman Begins in The Dark Knight. I don't remember. But yeah, it's just like that. And I love anime. I love Star Wars. So like this was a perfect mix for me. So if you want to, I recommend you guys watch them. Like I said, you can watch 1 or 2 at a time. Like it's not, I would even recommend you do it that way instead of binging the whole, because you can watch the whole thing like in 2.5 hours.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. I also watched Kate on Netflix. That's the Mary Elizabeth Winstead movie.
Oh, I've been wanting to see this.
I'll tell you this. I liked it better than Gunpowder Milkshake.
Good. If you had said it was worse than that, I would have been like, ow.
But what is Netflix's obsession with remaking the same concept over and over again? It seems like.
You see, there's this one movie called John Wick that's very successful.
I haven't heard of it.
So, and it's not just Netflix. Like we got that what's that movie called, Mr. Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, right.
Yeah, everybody's getting their John Wick treatment. But yeah, it's fun. The visuals are incredible because they're in Japan and they just have all these really cool locations. So yeah, you can spend. I think it's only 90 to 100 minutes. Which is
yeah.
also something that puts it ahead of Gunpowder Milkshake, which was almost 2 hours long, when I don't think it should have been. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess one thing I didn't mention: Star Wars has so much potential. Yeah,
I
for
Totally
sure.
agree.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I think they both have the same potential. Quit making the rules that you have to do certain things. They could tell stories in both worlds for days. Remember when Marvel used to do the add-ons onto the DVD and have stories within those, and so
Yeah.
you get the DVD like the 2-in-1 and stuff like that. Like they just quit doing that, and that was like
Yeah.
a fun additional story you got with your purchase. And now you don't get stuff like that anymore. And it's like because they're so worried about like continuity and bullshit and stuff. Like,
well, but here's a counterpoint, and to your point in the chat. Think about, so currently we're getting into a phase of MCU where they're opening the multiverse, right? So we're getting all these stories in different kinds of worlds. Loki played with this, What If is playing with this, contrasting to the way they handle the Star Wars. Like I said earlier, it's like they draw this line in the sand of real, not real. And I agree. I think the world building in Star Wars has so much potential. And you saw this, after Jedi, when the only official, quote unquote, media coming out were novels, were, later on the Dark Horse comics, were, the games, were these things that played in that world, and they did it in really unique ways. And now Disney is just like, no, right? Like, these are the official properties. That's it. And I feel like the more they kind of drop the ball, the more they're tightening this hold on that, on the storytelling potential of that world. So
yeah. MCU doesn't have some.
That's a fair point.
They can
kill anyone they want.
MCU will kill people with expiring contracts. But I think I did mention, because I've already shot the video.
Star Wars will just kill old actors they don't think they'll do anything with.
Oh God, let the past die, right, Kylo? I already shot the video for Visions, but what I mentioned there at the end was like, I would love to see either a Marvel property do the same thing where they just do stories. Like, I love the anime, the X-Men anime, and I think there was a Wolverine anime a while back, like in the early 2000s.
They weren't good.
They're not good, but they have a lot of potential because of the anime. Like, if you let these,
but look who wrote them all. Do you know who wrote them all?
No,
Warren Ellis.
Oh, well.
They're not good stories.
We're gonna have to bleep that.
I don't think he understood anime storytelling.
I think it was him dabbling and them wanting something real.
You need to give the production team like the full control, even if you're not gonna make it canon, whatever, or even just animation studios from all other countries and all over the world. I also pitched maybe they could do it with Disney properties. Like, let other animation studios take a crack. Like, do a series of short films with, like, I don't know, Mickey or like some of the princesses, whatever. Like, they have so many. They'll never let
another studio do that.
Yeah, it'll never happen. But after seeing at the least, I would hope that we get more Star Wars Visions, like another season of these short films.
Yeah. And I would love to see them dabble in all their universes. I mean, they have other things that they don't utilize. Like, I'd love to see someone's new take on the black hole, like an old property like that, and reinvigorated, and not just stick to certain brands. Let's do all of Disney.
Give me Anime National Geographic. I really want to check that out. No, I'm kidding.
What you need to do is Anime Food Network, because
it's like Top Chef, but with those big anime swords,
Yeah, so. Food always looks great in anime. Like, if you
that is absolutely true. Yeah, I never thought about that. You're right. There's always a bowl of ramen that just looks so tasty.
I want to see an animated chicken fried steak.
They'll get the color of the gravy wrong. It has to be slightly off gray. It can't be.
The studio comes back with notes like, "Wait, you guys actually eat this?"
Yeah,
like we added
steak is gold.
We added chives to it just because it looks really disgusting.
They're like, but there's no chicken in it. What's going? Like, how do you mean? Anyways, To close off the stuff that I'm watching, I finally checked out the first issue of Doom Patrol season 3, which it feels really like the last episode of season 2. Like 90% of it is the last episode of season 2, and then 10% of it is like, oh, here's what we're gonna set up for season 3. So it has a really interesting resolution. If you guys remember the cliff, like what we left off at the cliffhanger at the end of last season. So yeah, Doom Patrol, it's back. There's 3 episodes out now, and I think they're doing weekly release.
It was so funny. So my wife and I watched the first season, and then at breakfast yesterday, she's on her computer, and I guess an ad popped up. She turned, she's like, "Hey, guess what came out?" And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Doom Patrol season 2." And I'm like, No, it's season 3. She's like, "No, it's season 2." And I'm like, "No, it's season 3." She's like, "Well, then we watched the first 2 seasons." I'm like, "No, we only watched season 1." She's like, "That was a long season." I'm like, "It is. It's really long."
Yeah. Especially because it was coming out in the Infinite service. It was a weird.
Yeah, it was a weird time. It was
2019 was a wild year, right? We didn't even know what was coming.
No, not at all.
And then I also watched the first episode of season 3 of Titans.
And
man, this show, I'm gonna keep watching because it's interesting. But have you ever watched those like the Bat in the Sun movies? Like from that YouTube channel where it's like a fan made thing.
No.
Like they're good, but they're not. It doesn't feel like the quality of like the like they're good for something that feels like not being made by a big studio like Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But I don't know why Titans has that feel. It's really weird. But I like the story enough because they're setting up. If you've seen the trailers, they're setting up Red Hood.
Yeah.
And they start off quickly, like, you know, tiny spoilers for the first episode. They immediately killed Jason Todd.
Whoa!
And so
it's Jason Todd. I mean,
right. So I never finished season 2, so I'm just gonna keep forging forward.
You didn't finish season 2 of Titans?
I didn't like season 2. Yeah, no, after they another tiny spoiler, after they killed Aquaman or Aquaboy, I was like, this show, I don't know what you're doing, show, but it's not for me. I will say
Titans go. That's my Team Titans team.
Yeah, I like the Cartoon Network animation.
Just Teen Titans.
Yeah. I will say this version of Batman, I completely understand why in the first episode Dick Grayson would say "fuck Batman." It's if you watch Game of Thrones, it's the actor who plays Jorah Mormont is Bruce Wayne, and it's weird because I mean the actor, he looks a little older to be Bruce Wayne and still be Batman. It feels more like
Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne.
No, not that old. Maybe Dark Knight Returns Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah. But the dude is so big. Like they put him in these outfits. I don't know. I don't know what he looks like physically, but he looks very imposing, especially compared to like Jason Todd, who's a smaller actor, and then also Nightwing, who the actor's great. The casting for Nightwing's really great. But they did set up that. I mean, we knew Tim Drake was coming, and I finally saw the actor that's going to be playing him, and he's in the show. He's I think his mom is Chinese and his dad is African American. Oh. They have a restaurant where he does deliveries in Gotham. It's really interesting what they're doing with Tim Drake, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited because the next episode is called Red Hood. So they're not, like I said, the first episode is called Barbara Gordon. Yeah, the first episode is called Barbara Gordon, and I really like
What's the next episode called? Wheelchair.
She's already at this point she's already in the wheelchair, because the Joker already did what he did. So. Yeah, it's weird, but I'm gonna keep watching it because I mean it's Batman stuff, so I can deal with 45 minutes. The one I need to catch up on is Stargirl.
Let me ask you this though. Okay, the tone and level of Titans you don't seem thrilled with. Mm-mm. If Titans was a full-on camp show a la Batman 66, would you watch it?
I would need a different roster of people. I think Nightwing could still probably work, but Beast Boy and Raven, like they're two. Both of they have
could be
tragic
camp.
backs. Yeah, but their stories are a little tragic. That I don't know.
You
if it'll
eliminate
work.
those stories. That's the
Yeah.
I guess that's why I like Teen Titans Go so much, is because it is that kind of like them being silly all the time. But if it was live action and that level, would you watch it?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I would. I like Doom Patrol, and that's not the most serious, straightforward show.
Okay, all right.
And do you guys remember that Doom Patrol had a pilot episode in the first season of Titans?
Yeah.
Fucking, I'm telling you guys, 2019 was a fucking weird year. All right. Well, we managed to get to an hour without Kyle here, so well done, everyone.
We're good. We're good. Hey, we're seasoned pros at this point.
That's right. All right, so let's move on to. Oh, actually, before we move on to our main topic, do you guys want to really quickly talk about the? Are you guys caught up on What If?
Yeah.
What was the last episode you saw, Josh?
It was the
This week was
Thor and Loki.
Thor. It was Thor.
No, what's the one before that? Is it zombies?
Yeah.
All right, that's as far as I got. But you guys go ahead. It's fine.
Zombies.
No, it's fine. We don't need to talk zombie. I mean, we don't need to talk about the latest one. We can catch up when Kyle comes back. But we can talk about the zombie one.
I would say this Thor though is what the show should maintain, that level of fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I agree.
Because they've had so many peaks and valleys of highs with the, Chadwick Boseman episode to lows of the Doctor Strange one that are just so dark that this episode was so fun that I kind of wanted to stay there and just keep joking.
Oh, actually, episode 6 was the Killmonger episode. Did you watch that, Joe?
Oh, we did watch that. That's
Okay.
That's the last one we watched was Killmonger.
So yeah, because we haven't done
Very
it.
heavy.
So spoiler alert for What If up to episode 6. So we won't talk about the Thor episode, but we'll talk a little bit about zombies and Killmonger. Did you guys like those episodes compared to this other stuff, the ones previous?
I didn't like zombies, and it's partly because I am just burnt out on zombies, and it's partly that whole episode felt very much like just fan service. Like,
Josh, you can stop watching The Walking Dead. You don't have to keep watching The Walking Dead.
I've only ever seen the first 15 minutes of one episode. I'm just like, if I'm gonna watch anything zombies, it's going to be Shaun of the Dead. That's it. And then I'm in and out. Like, I've had my zombie fill. I'm just so bored of zombies lately. But that whole episode just felt like, do you remember how you really wanted to see Bucky fight Cap? Here you go. Yeah. Do you remember how you really want to see this person fight this person? Well, here you go. Right. It just felt kind of pointless. I really didn't like that. I liked Killmonger a bit more because I like the idea that no matter what, Killmonger is going to win, right? Oh, hey, is it good to see you?
Yeah, I get that. I think my issue with the zombies episode was that I feel like the zombie episode needed a little bit more of a serious tone, but because of the characters they picked, like especially adding the guy David Dastmalchian from Ant-Man, like it was like a joke every 30 seconds. Like Marvel won't let you build any tension because I guess they're afraid the audience is gonna like be apprehensive. I don't know. It's weird because like no tension could be built because anything would happen that you'd be like, oh, that's messed up. Immediately somebody comes in with a joke.
Yeah.
And just like it was I like fun episodes too, like the Thor one we had recently. But I don't need a joke every 30 seconds when like
you're about to die.
When we just found out that a Vision kidnapped Black Panther to feed Wanda. Like, let that sink into the viewers.
Right.
But yeah, I mean that one was fine. It did get me interested in going back to revisit the comics. I don't, and they're probably not as good as I remember either. But
they aren't. I mean, they're kind of one and done stories. Yeah. They're not ones you revisit. I mean, in my mind, they aren't. I'm not that. I mean, and I love zombies, but they're all kind of the same thing.
I will say the Marvel Zombies comics is the most I've ever been exposed to Ash from The Evil Dead, because I read the crossover of Army of the Dead versus Marvel Zombies.
Wait. Hang on.
How do you know who Bruce Campbell is?
Because I watched Burn Notice.
And wait.
I'm just kidding.
Holy shit!
I've never seen Burn Notice, but there's a really funny SNL skit like where they have a whole game show just like, what is Burn Notice? Like that's the whole show.
I mean, okay, Bruce Campbell from the first 2 Raimi Spider-Man films, right? He's got cameos in both,
and he's in all 3.
I haven't seen the third one.
Oh,
so.
he's a waiter in that one.
All right, but I mean, but your only exposure to Ash from the Evil Dead is through a comic crossover with Marvel Zombies?
Yep.
Holy shit, go at the very least watch Army of Darkness. I will lend it to you. I have it on Blu-ray.
I have a list. We're going to start with in Living Color.
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall.
Oh.
And we'll get to Evil Dead.
Okay. I have a proposal for Halloween this year. We all watch either Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. And then we do a show around it for Halloween.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2? Yeah, I could do that. I've got that as well. So
I was going to propose that we do something like that, but I just don't want to. This is going to be me in October because of you guys. Here, let me share my screen.
Do it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, do you know what movie that's from?
Yeah, I've seen A Clockwork Orange.
All right.
I'll bring the eye drops.
I saw Clockwork Orange when I was 10.
Oh boy, that's a little too early.
That one fucked me up.
What? Holy crap!
I was very unsupervised as a child, and TV was my dad. So I watched Apocalypse Now, Tin Drum, and Clockwork Orange when I was all around 10. Because I just had free cable.
We've talked about how I ended up watching A Clockwork Orange because I was watching that show with about the lawyers on TNT. What's it called?
The Lawyers on TNT
with Zach Morris,
Franklin and Bash.
Lawyers
hardly.
And Michael McDonald, is that his name, right?
Michael McDonald, the singer?
No. The actor who's in A Clockwork Orange.
Oh, Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, he's in Franklin and Bash. So I started going through his IMDb, and I was like, "Oh, Stanley Kubrick." Okay, so because of Franklin and Bash,
you saw Franklin and Bash before, and that's how you got to
The Clockwork Orange.
What the fuck?
Okay, wait. I just have to point out, in the past 5 minutes, Danielle has brought up Franklin and Bash and Burn Notice.
I was raised in basic cable.
Oh my god,
that's so great.
I love television.
But in color. Like I'm gonna go pull some of the best. I'm gonna pull all the best of In Living Color and send you a playlist.
All right.
I mean, because you will see Jim Carrey in it and realize this is exactly why he made the first 3 films he made, right?
Fire Marshal Bill.
Marshal Bill, yeah. And directly from that, you get The Mask, you get Ace Ventura, you get things where they want his Looney Tunes rubber-faced antics. Like that's what they wanted. So,
and I'm gonna take that list, Clay, and instead of watching it, I'm just gonna upload those clips to TikTok, and then that's how.
He's gonna expose a new generation to In Living Color.
He's gonna take that list. He's gonna IMDb each of the actors in it and somehow end up with like the entire Kubrick oeuvre.
Rizzoli and Isles. Oh yeah.
Rizzoli and Isles.
Oh my god!
That's how he got to Gandhi. I was watching Rizzoli and Isles, and then all of a sudden they had this Gandhi reference. I look it up, and I'm like, "Hey, Ben Kingsley, I like that guy. Let's see what this movie's about."
Hey, the Mandarin. All right.
The funny guy from Shang-Chi. Yeah.
All right. So we have. So what about the Killmonger episode? Did you guys like that one? I really like that one because I'm a big fan of that Killmonger character.
Yeah, it was great to see him back and do what he does better.
Yeah, it was really interesting just to see again that Killmonger is driven by this specific ideology. And it's not like what we see in the events of Black Panther are the only way he's going to realize that. That was really good. I kind of felt like oh god, I just blinked on the actor's name. Who plays Killmonger?
Michael B. Jordan.
Jordan.
Okay, thank you. He kind of phoned it in a little bit. I don't know.
Space Jam 2's Michael B. Jordan.
I just I've kind of felt like that with some of the actors coming to do What If, and I wonder if it's just that unique ability to do voiceover work is something they're not. I mean, they're not Mark Hamill, right? Mark Hamill can walk into a recording studio and just knock it out of the park. So I feel like some of that's made What If a little bumpy for me, at least. But
okay, was that a pun?
No.
Scars, because the Killmonger whenever he kills somebody, he gives himself a...
Wow, this is a pun. That's a deep cut, my friend.
That's also a pun. Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, that was a What If recap. Yeah, let us know when you're caught up on the other one. We can talk about the next two. We only have like 3 left, I think.
What is this week's?
I don't know. I try not to look at the I try not to look at the previews if I can avoid them. Like I can't always avoid them because social media and stuff, like they'll be retweeting promos all the time. And then Marvel's YouTube channel also just puts like big pictures. So, but yeah, let me know when you're caught up. We'll probably catch up maybe on the next 2 by next week.
Okay, sounds good.
So, all right, now on to the main event. Today,
the reason we're all here.
That's right. For our main topic, so for those of you in the know and those of you that don't, we're about to tell you right now. Last weekend was Batman Day on Saturday. Now, Batman Day started in 2014 on the 75th anniversary of Batman. On July 23rd was the first ever Batman Day, where DC just has like they had exclusive stuff. Like they had a few like little comics and statues and stuff like that for Batman Day, but they also put out for the 75 year. They had this. I think it was one of those like 80-page anthology books.
Mm-hmm.
After 2014, they moved it to the 3rd Saturday of September every year. So ever since the first one, after that, Batman Day is on the 3rd. Yeah, wow. The Batman Detective 1000. So yeah, on the 3rd Saturday of every year, or September and every year, that is now Batman Day for DC Comics. So we wanted to do a show for a Batman Day extravaganza the day after. We couldn't, so we're just doing it now.
Do you leave out milk and cookies for Batman?
I let him hang out with my parents.
You just walk in. You guys still hanging? All right.
Let me know when you guys are just. No, I tell them just bring. First of all, don't take him to see a play. And please,
you've got Zorro on the TV, and he's like, too soon, guys, too soon.
Please bring them back before midnight.
Take this way home, avoid crime alley.
Yeah. So I wanted to. Yeah, I'm glad we live in the suburbs. I wanted to ask, do you guys remember like your first encounter with, and it may be the same one for all 3 of us, even, but your first encounter with Batman, like, I'll tell you now, mine is definitely Batman 66.
Really?
Oh,
okay. That's my first.
Yeah,
I thought yours wouldn't be Batman.
I thought yours was going to be
89.
We would watch reruns of it. Because we didn't really go to. I don't remember going to the theater a lot when I was younger. Like, because by then in '89 I would have been 3. So there's really no point in taking a 3-year-old to the movies.
No, there's not.
Not for Batman, at least.
No.
You know, like go watch. I don't know. Lollapalooza. No, not
Lollapalooza.
Take
your baby to a concert.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So I don't think we would have. I know I watched that movie later in the '90s, but I don't think it was. It was definitely Batman '66 because they would replay they would do reruns on TV, and it was fun, and big bright colors and moving around, and yeah, that definitely mine.
Mine too.
Mine was, so I didn't realize Batman 66 existed until like we were on vacation one time, and it came on the TV when we were on vacation, and I was blown away. I was like, where is this like TV show been my whole life? I think mine was either, they kind of blend together, either Super Friends or Scooby-Doo meet Batman and Robin. Like it was, and it was all around the same time period. So those are mine. Most likely Super Friends.
Yeah,
Cool.
see, Batman 66 ran here, I think on Channel 11, back to back with the George Reeves Superman.
Mm.
So you had Batman Superman hour, and so that's what I watched and just loved it. It was just, it was cartoony and campy, but it was fun with costumes. Superman flew. I don't know. It had more of a feel. Like I got to the cartoons eventually, and that kind of took its place. But yeah, if I had Batman 66, I would have. It got me excited for Batman and everything it could be with all the cool villains and stuff. And you had Vincent Price, and even as a kid, you knew Vincent Price was kick ass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even though he played Egghead.
Yeah.
I mean, the villains were what they were, but I love Joker, but Riddler and Penguin were just so good on that shit. Even Frank Gorshin, but I really want to focus on Frank Gorshin first. He was great. John Astin was good, but Frank Gorshin was great.
Mhm.
Yep.
If anything that we saw in Jim Carrey's Riddler, it came from Frank Gorshin's Riddler.
Yeah. Yeah, he just took the character and put it through the Jim Carrey filter, but it really is, you can tell like all. I mean, Batman 66 had just some, even though it had like 3 Catwomans, which would be cool to do an exploration.
4?
Was it 4?
I think it was 4. Yeah.
Eartha
Wow.
Kitt.
Yvonne. No, that was Batgirl. Who was the one?
Julie Newmar.
Was she the one in the movie? Like she was only in the movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Julie Newmar did TV and movie.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt. I'm counting on Daniel for.
Yeah, I'm looking. I will say
intern for this.
I will say I was always very excited to see whenever the 66 had a different opening when Batgirl was going to show up.
Yes,
because she would show up in her motorcycle. Okay, so yeah, Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather.
That was she was the movie one only.
She was the movie one. Yeah.
Eartha Kitt. And it looks like this is I think it was only
It was only 3. Fuck, I thought there was a 4th one.
I really thought there were 4 too. I remember Merriweather did the movie because I think Newmar was unavailable for filming that, and so they had and then she plays this like super big role in the movie, which is kind of weird. But
Julie Newmar, having been warned too late and already under contract for another project, had to pass the suit onto Lee Merriweather for Leslie H. Martinson. I imagine that's the director of the movie.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Though I have a weird gateway the same way Daniel does. I watched Batman and it led me to Green Hornet. He appears on Green Hornet, and then I went to Green Hornet and then discovered Green Hornet was related to the Lone Ranger.
Oh, that's fascinating. Huh.
I do remember because they would replay. I mean, the shows they didn't look the same, but they had the same kind of feel of like, I don't know. I think maybe because the TV would lump them in together.
Yeah.
Like, and they wouldn't do that with the Wonder Woman show, which was interesting. Like, I don't think that one got as much replay on syndication as the other ones. But
it was really hard to find for a long time. Yeah. I know at a certain point when MeTV started up, they began re-airing it along with Batman 66.
Like, Green Hornet was definitely the first time I ever saw Bruce Lee in anything. Even if I didn't.
Wonder Woman only
never
had
seen the
59.
Green Hornet show.
You've never seen a Green Hornet show?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, they were very much like Batman, but you fucking had Bruce Lee doing cool shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's the show that had to ask him to slow down his punches because they weren't being caught on film.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And the car, what's it called? What's his car called?
Oh my God, the green. No, fuck, I'm gonna look it up. But
Hornet
I
Mobile.
I did want to point out Wonder Woman only had 59 episodes, and you typically needed 100 episodes to get into syndication.
okay.
So
That would make sense why it's not over play over and over.
Black Beauty.
Black Beauty.
Yeah,
Black
I
Beauty
looked
is
it
the
up.
car, and that car is fucking badass.
Yep.
I really am bummed that Seth Rogen's
Seth Rogen's movie.
kind of shit the bed. That had potential
Mhm.
because the dude who played Kato was badass.
He was
They had
great.
fight scenes.
Yeah.
All right, so back to Batman though.
Yeah.
So I think after that it was probably the animated series for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I think did we already do a full episode on the animated series? I feel like we have.
We've talked about it, but I don't think
Okay.
we've done a
I'm
deep
not
dive
sure-
because we usually bring up our favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean you can tell. Well, I guess Josh changed his name, but
I did change mine. Yeah, it was Grey Ghost originally, which is a classic episode.
yeah, that one's
very
great.
good.
Heart of Ice. I rewatched the Christmas with the Joker a lot just because it was like the first one they put on the. I know it's not the first one, but it's normally the one. I think after they moved the order around,
Yeah.
because the first episode is on Leather Wings.
Yeah.
Which what a bold choice to start with Man Bat.
I know, but here's the thing. I have such vivid memories of watching it. They aired that in prime time.
Yeah.
They aired it in prime time, and it was very much like, if you liked the movie, you will like this show. So I think they went with Man Bat because it has a much more mature feel. And it is just, I remember, like, I couldn't get the big TV to watch it because my family wanted to watch something else. So I'm like in the guest bedroom watching on like a tiny little color TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like blown away the whole time. It's so good. Oh, it's great.
I just remember watching the Mr. Freeze episode in college, and I'd kind of dropped comics just for money at the time, and that show made me pick up a book and start drawing again.
Oh, fantastic. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that was really, I mean, I just remember the end was just like this quiet, solemn fade to black that was like, there's no answer for this one. And it's like, oh shit, this is good. And this is a cartoon on in the afternoons after school.
Yeah, because it wasn't all the time that the hero wouldn't wrap up the story.
Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
Batman animated.
Someone bought this as a gift for me years and years ago, and it is such a phenomenal book. It is just like storyboards and art from the series.
Why has no one bought that for me?
Yeah, I know. Oh, check this out.
Oh wow!
Oh, very cool.
I mean, it is just phenomenal, and they have all of. At some point, where's the page? They have all of the title cards.
Yeah.
The painted title cards.
Those are beautiful.
Yeah, this is a great book. I highly recommend it.
One year for Christmas at the office, I took a bunch of Christmas episode screenshots and printed them out and decorated my desk with Christmas Batman animated series episodes. I don't miss the office, but that was one of the decorating for the holidays was always a fun time. All right, now let's get into. I think we'll leave the movies for last because I think that'll maybe be a big thing. And if you guys have any questions pre-planned,
well, I think it's always a gateway. That's the thing is like no kid knows to just go pick up a comic unless his dad or someone takes him to go to a comic book store and says, "Hey, this is Batman." Yeah. So if you see it, that's what's going to draw you in. And seeing even a campy version makes me want to read, from light Batman to the darkest of Dark Knight stories.
Well, I will say I always liked the animated intro to 66 more because I'm such a fan of the comic art that's almost what I wanted the whole show to be. And I think that's why I was drawn more to like the animated versions, like, Super Friends or, Scooby-Doo meet Batman and Robin. Like I wanted that look.
Yeah.
So anyway.
There's a couple of animated 66 movies out there.
I know. I need to see the Two-Face one because that's the lost story.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's the one with William Shatner as Two-Face.
Yes, and apparently, like, they had written a script to introduce Two-Face into the show, and I think it got nixed because it was just considered too dark or something. Is that right?
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be hard to explain how Two-Face would look pretty goofy in real life if to keep it with the standards of the show.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the most the weirdest looking thing on the show was always Cesar Romero's mustache. So I think anything more than that would have been too much for the audiences at home.
I almost think that would be a great nod. Whoever is the next Joker to just keep a full mustache and put makeup over it.
Yeah, I'm a little.
Jared Leto's already growing one.
Well, that's for a different thing. That's for Hazaguchi. But as far as the comics, like I'll always have in my present memory, like I always have Hush, very ingrained, and I don't recommend it as much anymore as a. It was one of my starter comics before,
right?
But
yeah.
There's Jeff a lot going on in that story.
But
Jeff Loeb, yeah,
Jeff Loeb,
I forgot about that too. Yeah,
so
I don't recommend The Long Halloween other than a great art book.
Like if somebody asks me about it, I'll tell them what I think honestly about the book, but I'm not pushing it on people. Like I would like a Fractions Hawkeye or something like that. But the best way to describe Batman Hush is like, when you go to like a restaurant and they have like this appetizer sampler where you can try everything that they have, and then you can make a decision on what your main answer is going to be. That's Batman Hush. It's a sampler of like Batman and all his rogues and a little bit of DC and his relationships within the DC universe. They tease the return of Jason Todd, which is fucking ridiculous. To think about that, I don't know how far that they plan all that stuff in advance. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the ones that I remember. My earliest reads was that, along with that's when I started going back, because I started with Snyder and Capullo stuff. That's just when I started reading comics. But as I went back, I would dig into Grant Morrison stuff, and then just kind of going back even more. The 90s are wild. I still have it on my list to read the whole No Man's Land year event.
That's a long read, dude.
It is. It's three like big hardcover books. But I want to, because I've read all the build up to it, and it's really good for the most part. And Azrael's part of the story, so I want to look into it. But do you guys have any comics like that kind of just stand out in your brain for Batman?
I started reading Batman. I would pick up random ones, but I remember it was mainly John Byrne stuff, because I had become off of X-Men and all his stuff. So it was like I know he did a few runs on Batman that I would pick up. And then I started to like, everyone would talk about Denny O'Neil, and they're like, he's the Batman guy. So then you start to notice his name on anything, whether he's the writer or the editor. And that those Batman stories definitely stand out, and he understands as a character. So mine kind of moved for creative artists. I'm trying to remember if there was ever a run where I just Batman was on my pull list. Hush, Dark Knight Returns, whatever The Dark Knight Strikes Again, that sequel, that turd sequel. Yeah, but I started to pull all my hardbacks and then look at what are the hardbacks that I love and I keep. And I love the Joker more than I love Batman. I have more Joker books than I do Batman books. I had the greatest Joker's stories ever told. Brian Azzarello's Joker, and but then
Three
I have
Jokers.
Now I put the Three Jokers on the list because I picked that up at the library, and I threw that in chat. And Daniel's
I'm
reaction
just poking
was,
the bear at this point.
Yeah, Daniel's reaction was my favorite because he rarely hates on stuff. But Three Jokers was
Batman
not
adjacent
good.
stuff. So,
oh man, Three Jokers was just not good. I love the art. Who did the art on that? Jason Fabuk, is that his name?
Yep.
But that was a Scott Snyder Who wrote Three
No,
Jokers?
is,
no, great.
Jeff Jones.
Jeff
Jeff
Jones. Yeah.
Which is
Not-
another problem, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Well,
know.
just
what
wait till we
about-
get to mine. So
Three Jokers was a story. I don't know.
it has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
It's like,
Almost.
I hate to say this. Sounds really shitty. It's like he kind of knows the character, but the writing doesn't show it. And that is the shittiest thing to say about the guy who's in charge of DC writing Three Jokers. But that was not a good book.
Is it though? I mean,
Yeah, I think for me there's a few things that
Right with you, Gregory. Clay's ahead of the curve, just like the Joker.
yeah.
Oh boy. So my main issue with Three Jokers is that during the, I think it was the Justice League War, Apocalypse War. Yeah, Apocalypse War. Batman sits on Metatron's chair, on the Mobius chair, and he learns everything, including the identity of the Joker. And that was towards the end of the New 52, so maybe, I don't know, late 2014, early 2015. So they set that up, and they're like, oh yeah, this will all be answered in Three Jokers. Jeff Johns is working on it with art by Jason Fabok. And that book came out in, I don't know, 2019 or end of 2019, finished in 2020, I think. So that's 5 years of buildup of like, what is this story? What is this massive story? And yeah, Jeff Johns was ruining movies at the time.
Wow.
But
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's just weird to hear him say that.
That is okay. Yeah, I agree with Clay. It is very weird to hear this coming out of Daniel's mouth.
So there's a big buildup, and we're getting little drops of art from Fabok every now and then,
and it's beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
the
it's
book
great.
is beautiful.
I told Clay this on our Discord. Like, the only reason I don't regret buying all the variants that I did, I have like 15 issues of that book, and it's a 3-issue book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because I bought a lot of variants.
You have a problem.
Well, yeah, the problem is I don't have enough money to buy more.
That's right. Dark Knight Danny coming in.
Is Daniel working for the TVA? Is he
yeah,
just collecting variants left and right?
The other problem is I'll eventually run out of space.
But yeah, space left. I see some wall space up there.
Oh, that's just because something fell. I need to go pick it up. But yeah, it was kind of a letdown. It was really a letdown, and
I didn't know there was buildup. I had no buildup and was let down.
Yeah, the one thing that really I don't know, that it feels like it was there's a subplot where like Barbara Gordon and Jason Todd kind of hook up, but not really. This feels like unnecessary. Like, people that are dealing with trauma don't always need to hook up to get past it. I don't think. Like, you could just be there for each other.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
So
with
yeah,
your clothes on.
There is a thing called therapy. So.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of let down, but like I said, Fabok's art is great. I like the concept overall. Like, I like the idea of who these Jokers are.
Yes, but it's very planned and very methodical.
Yeah.
Nothing the Joker would ever do. The Joker would create all these Jokers and just let them loose.
Yeah, maybe one of the Jokers would have some plans like that, but not all. Like, I can't see a Joker working with other Jokers.
Yeah, there will never be Team Joker.
Right. So.
Or you're writing a terrible book and you don't understand Joker.
So yeah, so that's my main problem with that book.
Well, I made up for it and read The Batman Who Laughs. Now,
how'd you like that?
I love that.
That is good. I've read that one too. Yeah.
It has a lot of hurdles. That is not a first-time reader Batman
It's
book.
not.
Right.
That is the problem with Batman. That's a great book if you are a deep diver into Batman and who the character is, because these are all spin-offs from event books.
Yep.
to have these different versions of Joker and Batman.
Except my choices, speaking of enormously problematic creators, would be to give people Batman Year One.
Okay, yeah.
And then follow that with Dark Knight Returns.
Wow.
Wow, that's
so
heavy.
so what you get is like this deep dive into early Batman, and then you immediately pivot to old Batman retired and having to come back, right? And so, and again, don't read anything else Frank Miller has ever written. Please, for the love of God, don't. But those two books are, well, I take that back. Read Daredevil Born Again. But
no, there's a lot of there's a lot of good Frank Miller out there. I don't know what Josh is talking about.
All right, let's say anything anything in the 90s onward, just ignore.
Okay.
So, and to a certain degree, that includes Sin City. I'm just putting that out there.
Sin City is just cool to have because of the way, like I'm thinking of 300.
R.I.P. Frank Miller.
R.I.P. Frank Miller.
I'm sorry. Did you not see him in the? I'm not. Ooh, spoiler.
Okay, Frank Miller is immortal, anyways.
Frank Miller is a spoiler, and when y'all find out, you're gonna laugh at yourselves.
Now I'm really curious.
I know, because we talked about it. Oh, okay, yeah. I probably okay. We talked about a lot of stuff, but there's one thing that I can, because I've read a few issues of it. Anyways, but I think I was thinking 300 because that's a cool format for the book.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Frank Miller has done some things within comics that are pretty neat and different, but he also thinks he's fucking special, and that like Elektra was his character, and they should have never brought her back. Like his take on Elektra, I feel, is not justified.
I think his take on Elektra is not as good because now there's been better takes on Elektra. You're like, oh, wait a minute, she could be a fully rounded character without having to just serve for the purposes of Daredevil.
Oh, really?
In 30 seconds, Frank Miller is going to Kool-Aid Man through Daniel's wall and beat the crap out of him. So
let me go get some stuff to get signed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, we can fix the wall, baby.
No, and I'll say one reason I love Year One is because of David Mazzucchelli's art. Yeah. Absolutely. Which is, again, why I like Born Again to a certain degree. They're a good pairing. And also, when Frank Miller goes full Frank Miller, I mean, I like Dark Knight Returns, but I still can't forgive him for how he treats Wonder Woman in that. I mean, it's awful. Just awful. So I don't know, but I've had friends who wanted to get into Batman, and I handed them those two books.
You monster.
Well, I mean, but read them in that order. Year One, then Dark Knight Returns. Don't read them in release.
But you don't even have a Joker story.
No, because then I think I also gave them
Killing Joke.
Yeah. So it went Year One, Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke. I think Arkham Asylum was like a big box set that I bought.
You're reading off my library of hardbacks.
So
right now.
To your friend that maybe has never read Batman, you gave Frank Miller, Alan Moore, and Grant Morrison.
I did.
Now, if the person you can give a Grant Morrison book to, and they will get it without knowing Batman, that's one thing. So if you understand the person you're giving it to,
right? Yeah, that's true.
But Arkham Asylum is so abstract. Even with just the art is so abstract too that I call that also an intermediary, like comics 102, 103.
No, that's true. But again, that's the last one you read, right? So you're kind of building them up to get to a point where they could read something like Arkham Asylum. I mean, the game is clearly pulled from that book, but they said, let's make it less weird. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's all the game does. They're like, we need to ground this.
Also, I think Frank Miller never gets enough credit for his art. It's weird. Like it's not. It's out of the box. It's definitely not the house style.
No,
but it fits in those gritty stories, like for Batman and Daredevil and Ronin or Wolverine. Like it fits the art. It fits the style there, and a lot of the credit goes to Klaus Jensen, who
Oh yeah,
Inked
Who always
everything.
inked
Inked 'em. And then God, who did the color? It's
Lynn Varley.
thank you. Yeah, and the thing is, I would say Dark Knight. I mean, to your point, Daniel, because I agree. Dark Knight Returns to me is the pinnacle of his art, because then after that, when you start getting to that really linear Sin City style, it gets incredibly repetitive.
Yeah.
But he's making that shift on Dark Knight Returns, right? He's going from more of a house style you see with Daredevil and Wolverine to Dark Knight Returns. He just kind of like it all coalesces, and then after that, he goes to that stark Sin City style that he still kind of uses to this day. So
yeah. All right, we may need to do a whole Frank Miller thing because we could probably spend the next. I do want to touch on.
Is he your default Batman?
No, it's Capullo. It's
Capullo?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got mine. I'm just waiting for the question of the day, and then I've got mine.
All right, so before we move on, because I don't know, Batman we could also talk about all day too. I did want to do one of my favorite things about holidays is the airing of the grievances, like in the festivals. So for Batman Day,
we're gonna air
let's air some grievances about Batman. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is whenever people say like, "Oh, could Batman beat this guy?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, with enough prep time." With enough prep time, what? With enough prep time, anybody could do anything. Like, yeah, like I hate the argument of enough prep time. Like, if Spider-Man is gonna fight Batman, he's not gonna give him like 2 days and then meet at high noon in the middle of the square, right? So I hate the argument of with enough prep time, Batman can defeat anyone. Probably, depending on the writer, he could also fail. Plenty of people like have died, because of Batman not having enough prep time, I guess. But do you guys have any Batman grievances? A lot of these are going to be probably from the fans because Batman fans can be overwhelming. If you're in the chat, if you have any Batman grievances, let us know. We'll read them out loud. We'll air them to the world.
Mine's, I think, less of a grievance, but more of a wish. And this is partly why I hate the Venom storyline, is because I like Batman the Detective. And I think it's something the animated series did really, really well. And when you read the Venom storyline, it's very much like, I just need raw strength. And it just rubs me the wrong way. So.
Wait, which Venom? Oh, the Venom storyline.
Yeah, the one before Bane shows up, right?
Yeah.
But see, I kind of like the idea of it pushed him to the point where he altered his body.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Because like, at what point would Batman take drugs, or because he's always just been human in a suit? What would take him to the next level?
Yeah. This brings me to another thing that I think Bane breaking Batman's back was one of the it wasn't even the worst thing he did to him that week. Like, Bane put Batman through fucking hell to get to that point. So, which I love. If you haven't read Nightfall, I mean, that whole trilogy of Nightfall, Night Vision, or Night Quest, I don't know if that's the right order. It's full of 90s stuff for sure. So it's kind of it's kind of a tough revisit because there's a lot of in order for Nightfall is really good because it's just really Batman going through hell. Like, Bane's putting him through all the paces. He doesn't let him sleep, get enough food. Like, he's just breaking him down, which is kind of what Tom King kind of wanted to revisit at the beginning of his run with that whole story with Bane and the Psycho Pirate.
Well, and it's the inspiration for Dark Knight Rises. I mean,
right.
But I will say my complaint about Nightfall was it was in the wake of the death of Superman. Mm-hmm. So it's like, let's kill another character, but let's not literally kill them. Like, what can we do, right? So that at least put a unique spin on it.
The way he gets healed too is it's the most comic book things ever.
I forget what it is. What is it?
He's in this island with this woman, and they sleep together, but they don't sleep together. They just sleep in the same bed, and she has these powers to heal him. So he wakes up and his back is good. Like he's gone through a whole bunch of shit to get there. But
he
that's
just
kind of
sleeps with a chick and gets
Yeah.
his back back.
That's what I remember from. I think that one's called Night Vision, and then Night Quest is him coming back to retake the mantle of Batman from Azrael.
That is a very male fantasy right there. Sorry, cis male fantasy. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
And he's strong enough to not sleep with her.
Right.
Well, I guess maybe that was implied, and when I read it, I didn't catch that at the first time. But yeah, it's wild. All right. Any more grievances? I know we're running a little short or a little long.
I don't like Happy Batman. I don't like Batman Family. I don't like the big, like.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
Don't read the webtoon.
Yeah,
I like Solo Batman.
I like Solo Batman.
Yeah.
If it's going to be a side character like Robin or Batgirl, then it should be a Robin or Batgirl story and not a Batman story.
Oh, I wonder if that's a generation thing because I love the Bat Family stuff.
It might be. Like I've never if I'm gonna have a Robin, it's gonna be Tim Drake. I don't want Jason Todd. I'm fine, with OG Robin, but I kind of prefer him as Nightwing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I like if there's an extended family, I want basically Batman, Nightwing, and Robin, Oracle. Right. Yeah. And that's about it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it'd be a boring book, but what would a knight as Oracle helping Batman look like just from her operations?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I like her in the Arkham Asylum games, right? Because that's what you get with Oracle. It's like you never see her, but she's always there in his calm, like helping him out. So
yeah, it would just be cool to see someone who has this kind of setup. What is she doing, and how does she prep to be faster than Batman? To warn him and do those things, and also where does that knowledge come from? Because there's a history of her on the streets knowing that too. So really, there's so much to Barbara Gordon that I just feel like they've never touched on that I would love to see as Oracle. Just that kind of person whose mind is tracing everything and finding answers before Batman.
All right. Let's move on to here we have a question in the chat. So with this question, we'll move on to question of the week, and then I'll throw my question in at the end, and we'll kind of cover all the stuff that. So Mike, my buddy from the I Read Comic Books podcast, go check him out. What does your idea Batman Family Team book look like? Well, apparently, from what I gathered, Josh and Clay would be like Batman sitting at home by himself with Alfred.
Yeah,
it's Lego Batman basically.
Lego Batman.
At the very beginning. No, but
Lobster Thermidor.
Yeah, exactly. I do like if I'm gonna have a Batman Family book, I kind of give me back Chuck Dixon's Robin series, right? I liked Tim Drake's Robin on his own. I like Batman on his own. Not a big fan when they're together. Just give me their solo stuff, and I'm cool with it. But no,
I would drop Robin. I would get rid of Robin. I don't like.
He's been dropped before.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's weird. I know Batman never wants to fail, but it's weird to have a child die and then continue to double down on that.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest aspect of his character.
So that's something they address on the Titans show, and it's one of the things that kind of keeps me interested. Nightwing. Nightwing. Gregory in the chat.
That's a great comment.
Batman is the anti-Vin Diesel when it comes to family. Very true.
But yeah, in the Titans season 3, that Nightwing reveals Bruce already has a file of possible replacements for Robin.
Oh wow!
Even
that's
got
to be tough to swallow.
But yeah. I mean, so the cool thing is that you see names like Kathy Kelly or Carrie Kelly, Duke Thomas. So you see possible from the comics.
Is one of the options a child I didn't know I had?
Maybe. Yeah, Batman keeps adopting kids. Come on, Batman. Well, listen, my ideal family book is actually happening on Webtoons right now. it's the webtoon is really like it's just the Bat family hanging out. Like they all live in the mansion, and it's like the day-to-day stuff. It's really not them going out fighting crime.
I do remember you showing a page where they like
Yeah.
celebrate when no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
when
Like
nobody
their
gets
big
hurt,
family.
Alfred makes cookies, and then they
Alfred
fight over the last cookie. But these are highly trained martial artists, so them fighting over the last cookie looks a lot different.
But see, there's fun stuff to Batman like that
Yeah.
that I appreciate for what it is. I mean, just the same way we all started on Batman 66. There's a camp level that we would
Yeah.
watch and enjoy.
Right.
And we are at a maximum capacity of entertainment of Batman. There's so much superhero stuff, we don't all consume it. And I wonder if a camp version came out, if we would kind of go to that just because that was something we started with.
Yeah, I'm sure that's another grievance for people. Like, not mine, but the fact that there's like 15 Batman ongoings or Batman. There was a week where I picked up 7 Batman books, or Batman adjacent books, in 1 week. So, all right, let's talk about these other questions real quick, and then we can go into recommendations. So, what Batman villain would you like to see get an origin series on HBO Max? And it can be the Penguin from the Batman because they kind of announced that that's going to be a thing.
Oh, really? Okay.
With, yeah,
I love Penguin on Gotham. I feel like that was his origin story. Even though I kind of quit near the end, I felt his performance early on with Fish in the first season, that really got who the Penguin was at a street level, and I kind of love that.
Yeah,
even the Riddler had a pretty good origin in that one.
Mike does say that Spider-Man has the same problem with all the books. Yeah, I agree. Spider-Man there's too many Spider-Man books. Too bad Kyle's not here to tell us all about them.
Yeah, there is.
I would go with and like I want to say Riddler, but I know we're going to kind of get that in the upcoming movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would like a Scarecrow series,
or
a oh god, I just played his name, Hugo
Strange.
Yeah, Hugo Strange. Like those would be my 2 picks. I think there's a lot of grist for the mill there.
Did you see Hugo Strange on the played by B.D. Wong in Gotham?
No, I never made it that far. I made it like halfway.
Yeah.
He was pretty good.
Is he good?
B.D. Wong's pretty awesome.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I've got no worry about that. I just didn't know Hugo Strange showed up. So,
so since we kind
of sorry, Mike in the chat made a good point.
Yeah,
Scarecrow's show in the same vein as Hannibal.
Oh yeah,
damn.
I would want to see Scarecrow before, like, I want to see him testing all his fear serums. Like, I want him to be in a place of being a medical doctor.
Well, that would be the Hannibal show. Yeah, that would be a good like.
Is that way Hannibal is? I've never seen it, so
kind of because it's the Hannibal show. I think takes place before. It's not connected to the movies, but it's at the time of his life what it would be before that.
Mm-hmm.
So because he's working with the FBI, but he's also doing Hannibal stuff. It's really good. It's really good. So that was going to be one of my recommendations.
Yeah, this is one of my recommendations because this is a great story and it came out recently.
Well, I would say for the TV show, I would want a Man-Bat origin story, like a horror. I mean, you can make it a horror thing or a science
body
fiction.
horror all the way,
like The Fly type of thing. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum to be Batman or to be Man-Bat.
Ooh, who would you pick to be Man-Bat now? You can't pick Jeff Goldblum to come over and do that.
Now I can't think of anyone else.
Now I can't either. Damn it. That is.
I mean, he would make a great Kurt Lang, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Because, I mean, let's be honest. In today's media, Man-Bat's going to be entirely CGI. So they're going to motion capture him. But Jeff Goldblum would make a fantastic Kurt Lang.
If it's going to be CGI, I'll take Andy Serkis to do the face and everything and the motions of that. And
he's great as a clone.
Yeah, Mike said the same thing.
Andy Serkis. Yeah, there you go.
Great minds. All right. Next question: is there an underrated Batman family series you recommend? I do have an answer for this. If you haven't read James Tynion run on Detective, he puts together this weird family like. It's kind of Batman's there, but not really. He's just looking out for the team. But it's Tim Drake, Clayface is part of the team. It's Stephanie Brown, spoiler, Cassandra Cain, and they're all led by Batwoman. And it's a really interesting family book. Like it goes through a whole I don't know, like maybe 40 issues of story of that run of the whole of Tinian's run. It deals a lot with Batwoman and her relationship with her dad too, because he's like this military dude. So yeah, I really like that run. So go check out. I think it was at the beginning of Rebirth, Detective Comics, when Rebirth came back in 2016 by James Tinian. But do you guys have any underrated Batman family series?
I'm gonna go back to the.
You can't pick Man Bat again, Clay.
Can we pick Death in the Family?
Oh boy.
No, I was gonna go back to that first miniseries of Robin by Chuck Dixon, because it's basically Tim Drake's year one. It's his training, and it's I don't know why that story just struck a chord with me, and it's really hard to find. I don't think it's available.
Yeah, no, that's
digitally, like it's just, or if it's even been collected. I mean, it's not an easy book to find, and I had the whole run in single issues. So
okay.
This is my rec from 2000 to 2006. This Batgirl book was fun. I loved the art in it. This is who's doing this? Scott Peterson, Kelly Puckett, Damian Scott, and Robert Campanella. I had never followed a Batgirl, and Cassandra Cain was new to me. I picked up this book. I absolutely remember and loved this for the art. And the story was fun too, because she doesn't speak. And so there's a lot of other issues with the story. But I was always excited to pick this book up. There are 3 volumes out on Comixology. It ran for 6 years over at DC. $30 gets you the whole run. There are some, I did enjoy Chuck Dixon's Robin. There are some here and there, but for some reason, Batgirl really never got a lot of love, and Cassandra Cain especially.
Yeah.
Though I will admit I don't know a lot about Stephanie the spoiler. I don't know a lot of her backstory and stuff.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this Robin book. And
oh yeah.
I'm so frustrated because I'm on DC's website and I look it up, and they have a whole US price, $5 for the collection. I'm like, oh, cool. It's like, read it digitally. And every single link I click on, even their own Read DC, it doesn't find it.
Oh.
And I went to Comixology and they don't have it. Let me go to print. Like, where the hell is this book? I just want to reread it again. Oh,
well,
man.
I will also say I recommend The Batman Who Laughs
Yes.
for Jim Gordon stuff. Jim Gordon.
Ooh, yeah.
Jim Gordon in that book, Scott Snyder does a take on him that is fucking fantastic. And I love that. For everything Gordon's been through, to me, that's probably the best stance I've seen someone take on him, is who's the only person who could deal with Batman, and that was Jim Gordon.
Speaking of which, a Batman family book that doesn't get enough credit, Gotham Central.
True. You get a lot of the Gotham PD show up in there for the first time. Yeah,
exactly. That's a fantastic book.
And that's all Ed Brubaker and...
I forget the artist.
ECPD.
It's a great artist. Like they go through what?
I put in GCPD Ed, and it goes Ed Sheeran.
What is wrong with your search history, man?
Oh, shit.
Let's see. Michael Lark.
Oh, thanks, yeah. Mike. He's a Fort Worth artist. He's a Texas guy.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I love his stuff. As far as other ones, though, like I've never been a Nightwing guy. I can't give you a Nightwing run that I would recommend. The Robin, the Chuck Dixon stuff. Batgirl, the Cassandra Cain, but I don't have any Oracle. I mean, the Oracle is going to be the
Birds of Prey. Read Gail Simone's Birds of Prey.
Yeah, always default to Gale.
Yeah.
Gale will have the best
Mhm.
voice of Oracle than
Oh,
anyone.
yeah.
But then also it's a team book. So if you
Yeah.
know, you're going to get more than just Oracle in those.
Yeah, Michael Lark is doing the book with Greg Rucka Image, Lazarus. So, all right. Next,
I can't believe we didn't talk a Raja Ghul. We didn't talk what an Alfred book would look like. We kind of
we need a Batman Day Part 2. It's too much to cover in one episode. So default Batman artist, I think. Oh, what's up, Josh?
No, sorry. I finally tracked it down on Comixology. It's called Robin Volume 1 Reborn. So they've actually retitled it. It's very weird.
It is not written by Frank Miller for some reason.
Yeah, no, it's not. I don't know. Very bizarre. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
So default Batman artist, I think I answered this earlier, but yeah, it's Greg Capullo. Like, part of me wants to say Jim Lee, but it's Greg Capullo.
I had such a generational answer for you. Because yours makes sense. You're someone who grew up reading the Batman comics you did. Mine is Jim Aparo. Jim Aparo was and honestly, what's so funny is in the wallpaper in the background of our live stream, half of those are Jim Aparo.
Yeah.
He is to me the quintessential Batman artist. Because his Batman was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When I was growing up, I'm talking on like, merchandise and what have you. He's to me the Batman artist. So
yeah, I also could have said, is it Kevin Nolan? I think it's Kevin Nolan.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He did a lot in the 90s, but I mean that's not where I started reading. So, Clay, do you have one?
Yeah, Neil Adams.
Oh, that's good.
I'm sure the other half. I'm sure the other half of our background is Neil Adams.
The thing with Neil Adams is I don't think I've read as much of his stuff as I've seen.
Right.
Because he has so many iconic covers.
Yeah.
Because when I thought of Raja Ghul, I immediately went to a Neil Adams cover. Yep. There's... I have his omnibus and haven't finished it because it's just so much content. But I know his Batman run is so different than what he did in the 70s. But this is the Batman Odyssey omnibus that he was selling at cons a few years ago. Oh, I have one more grievance on Batman.
Sure.
People need to not just say Bob Kane, but also Bill Finger.
Yeah.
Bill Finger, Bob Kane created Batman. Not just one guy. Bill Finger, Bob Kane. And I always put Bob Kane second.
Yes.
And if you don't know why, Hulu has the film Batman and Me, where Batman and Bill, where they restore Bill Finger's name to the credits because Bob Kane had him removed as a creator of Batman.
Yeah.
For decades.
Yep.
When you go see some of the Batman stuff we've talked about, it isn't only until recently that Bill Finger was credited with the creation of Batman. So that's like all the Michael Keaton Batmans, the Nolan Batmans.
Fun fact, it was BVS the first time we saw Bill Finger's name on the screen.
Boom.
Thank you, Zack Snyder. We didn't even get to talk about the movies. Oh my god. Okay.
If you go and read like histories of the various comic artists who were all part of that golden age era, and those that knew Bob Kane, they do not paint him in a pretty light. Bob Kane is basically presented as always kind of a charlatan, which is why if you look at any original Bob Kane drawing of Batman, it's the same drawing over and over again. He learned to draw that one thing, and that was it. He pretty much understood.
You can see it in Batman because he draws that same figure in the Batman movie when you see it.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. So it's fascinating. Yeah, Bill Finger deserves all the credit for Batman, honestly. So.
All right. I guess my question I did have to add, and this will kind of touch a little bit on the movies, but who's your live action Batman? And I say live action because I think Kevin Conroy would be most of our Batmans.
True. Although he is live action now, right?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he is live action. That's true.
I haven't seen him though, but it's Keaton for me.
Keaton. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad flick. Mm.
Don't you put
doesn't
words
even
in my
have a
mouth,
movie.
Daniel.
Yeah, like that should be in your grievances. Is why didn't Batfleck get a movie? God damn it.
Yeah.
You know what?
That would have been pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to keep complaining about it, but it was obviously because Ben Affleck couldn't mentally handle it, and I'm not gonna put anybody in it. I don't want to. For my enjoyment, I don't need anybody to lose their sanity.
Right.
Dance for me, Affleck. Affleck. Batman now.
We have Val Kilmer from
Val
Mike
Kilmer.
Bat.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, there's a really interesting documentary of Val Kilmer, and he talks about his time as Batman in Netflix.
Yeah.
So
I
go
thought it
check
was
that
on
out.
Amazon.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, you're right. It is Amazon.
Yeah, because I
We all blur together.
They really do. You don't realize which one it is until you don't have it.
Very true. Very true. And considering all the drops this week, Netflix is the one to have. We got Sandman, Cowboy Bebop. We're getting the next season of The Witcher. Yeah, totally Netflix all the way.
And if you subscribe to the channel today, you may see a video recapping all the stuff that Netflix announced. Who knows? So stay tuned for that. And it may already be shot.
Maybe.
It may already be shot and uploaded. I just need to publish it. We'll see. So let's go to recommendations real quick. Josh, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Because this is probably time sensitive.
A little bit. It's got like 5 days left. But yeah, here I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Damn it! You always come up with good stuff that I have to use money on.
Sorry. Let's do. There we go. Okay, so again, my default is to go to a Humble Bundle. There's a really good one out right now from Titan that is basically comic books based on TV and movies, and it's a wonderfully bizarre assortment of properties. You've got things like Blade Runner, Robotech, Penny Dreadful, Sherlock, Star Trek, Robotech
Raid.
Robotech Classics, The Raid, Babylon Berlin, Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. The one that blew me away was Blacklist. And then check this out. Hammer Comics The Mummy, written by Peter Milligan.
Ooh.
Whoa,
I'm on board for
dude.
that alone. And then you have The Prisoner. This is just such a weird, wonderful assortment of comics that I feel like there's something in here for everyone. So that's my rack. I haven't even bought it yet, but I'm already promoting it. So yeah.
Mike says the Sherlock stories are insane in the manga.
Oh,
So-
really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike's a big manga reader, so I'll take his word for it. I definitely will take that as a recommendation.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Robotech stuff.
Yeah, I kind of want that. That's what drew me to it was the Robotech stuff.
I want to
but-
read the Blade Runner stuff because there's an animated series coming soon for Cartoon Network that is based on 2019. Well, not based, but it's set in the year 2019.
Oh, really? Okay.
Greg, inject Sherlock into me. What you for what is it? $25 the top tier?
Oh no, it was
Yeah.
18. 18, yeah.
Well, for
So
$18, you can have all the Sherlock you want in
Yep.
manga form. Cool. All right, Clay, what do you have for us?
Did you guys see the reboot? I hate to say reboot because it's the Wonder Years. Has launched a new series and they dropped the pilot. I watched it on Hulu. It has one of my favorites, Dule Hill.
Dule Hill, yeah.
as the dad, and that's what I'm there for. And he delivered.
Oh, really good. Is it good? Like I kept seeing the trailer for it, and I was like, I love Wonder Years. I kind of want to check this out. So
yes, it does give you that vibe of the '60s. Your voiceover is Don Cheadle.
Oh, love it.
So,
Love it.
And he's it's a kid who's discovering everything about his parents and love and growing up in, I believe it's 1968.
Oh, so right, like that's the year. Like
so basically the same time of Penny or Winnie and Fred Savage.
Jesus, yeah.
Oh, cool. So it's just
Kevin, yeah.
So it's like parallel stories, I guess they could be.
Yeah.
Well,
so just from the pilot, I really loved it, and I love Dule Hill, and him as this kind of cool dad is neat. It's way different than the dad was in the other one. But it
Right.
also, because it is a black family in the 60s,
Yeah.
you know, it deals with some social issues, but it
Mhm.
isn't heavy handed.
Okay.
So that was the thing. I was like, you know, there's just so much social political stories that people are trying to, you know, put out there. It gets heavy after a while.
Yeah.
And they do it in a way where it's like, we're going to recognize that it's here, but we're not going to put it all on you.
It's not going to dominate. So is the idea that this is just another family in the same universe rather than an actual
in the
reboot?
same universe? It's just, I mean, I guess it's just America. So America's universe, they're just growing up with American problems. And, you know, it gave you that moment when you're a kid, and it reminded me of when you're like around 12 and you start to recognize the rest of the world. You're in middle school and you're broadening your vision of people and stuff. And I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Don Cheadle doing the voiceover because it really paid off.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm so glad to hear that.
I caught the end of it on the DVR when I was, because I like to watch the Connors, because I think what's his name?
How's that been? John Goodman?
John Goodman is hilarious, and I like the whole show's pretty good.
And they've been doing it live.
Yeah, the first one was live, but John Goodman's so funny. Like, he's just so funny. Like, I watched the show mainly just for him, but I mean, the show overall is really funny. But it's also kind of poignant, and like it talks about interesting stuff. So, but yeah, I caught the end of the Wonder Years on the DVR, so I'll go back and check that out. All right, well, for mine first, we'll have Human Remains from Vault Comics. This is written by Peter Mulligan, with art by Sally Cantirino. We actually got an advanced copy of this, so there'll be a video on the channel probably Tuesday before it comes out.
Peter Milligan.
I do
Yeah,
too.
we just talked about it in the Humble Bundle, right?
Yep.
The premise for this: Dax and Bisa love each other, but in this new terrifying world, love is dangerous. Feeling anything is dangerous. Earth has a new terrible invader monsters that deprive us of the very feelings that make us human. It sounds kind of like A Quiet Place, kind of, but like with emotions instead of the sound. And then also, of course, my other recommendation, fucking Inferno #1, which is, this is all coming back to like House of X, Powers of X left a big thread dangling with Moira, and we're gonna finally see the consequences of that in Inferno.
Wait, why does Hickman want to remake every big crossover book from the late 80s? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I feel like that's a Marvel directive.
Yeah, I don't
think so. All right.
All they do is repeat.
Well, but he's spearheading all these. He did Secret Wars. I
think Hickman has the stories in maybe like editorial, just kind of like, oh, what if we call it Inferno?
Yeah.
Or what if we call it like, oh, that, like, yeah, and Mike on the chat saying this. I don't think this is a remake. You're right, it's not. But they just want the title. They just want the title, right?
Get tired of that.
Yeah, based on the solicit, this is gonna be insane. Like, if you read Hoxpox, there's a big thread dangling with Moira.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've already announced that Hickman will take a break from X-Men after this book.
Well,
take a break. He's going to
Substack. He's going to Substack
to make some cash that Marvel won't pay, and he's running their entire X line.
Hickman's like, I'm gonna go make a few 100,000s.
Can you imagine how pissed off Marvel must be right now that they took this enormous gamble on Hickman, completely giving him free reign on the X titles, and then he's like, I'm out of here for Substack.
Hey, yeah, but that company's fucked over a lot of other people.
Oh, no, I totally agree with you. I mean, they deserve it to a certain degree.
I didn't even.
I'm very curious what Marvel is in 5 years.
I didn't even bring up the news of the lawsuits this week with Estate and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
With
Spider-Man
Estate and
Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
but
perfect time to do it right before the movie releases, and everyone's hyped.
Apparently, according to all these articles, like, these happen all the time. And they just
really? Okay.
Yeah. Like, Kirby's estate is like they've
They
done
did.
it like 50 times or something. Like
They do it right
insane.
before a movie releases because
Yeah.
the
Makes
win is if you can get a major studio to delay a release, they lose millions. So they want to settle.
But that's also the original approach was, right? It was just before Superman the movie came out,
Yeah.
and that's when Adams and others went to bat for Siegel and Schuster, and they won.
Yeah.
So when you can prove that there is this enormous money making property about to be, going into the theaters, that's the time to strike. So
Yeah.
says the guy who's not a lawyer.
No, don't get your legal advice from the Next Issue podcast.
Definitely not me.
I'll also probably review this for the channel. Darkhold, written by Steve Orlando, with art by Cian Torney. I mean, I don't know what it is, but Doctor Doom has gotten a hold of the Darkhold, so I'm gonna read that stuff. It's really easy for Marvel to get me to buy a book. I was
gonna say you're bad mouthing them earlier, and now you're like, but buy this Marvel Inferno book.
Hey, I can be critical of the stuff I like. I'm a fully rounded individual, all right?
Hey, he was bad mouthing Batman stuff, so we
right.
definitely know that's the case.
I was surprised he got to it.
All right. I mean, listen, we could do a whole show on stuff like that, but maybe for the future. So let us know in the comments what else you want us to badmouth. All right. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap it up?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. Oh wait.
Yeah, that's true.
Just letting us know that he fisted as hard as he could.
I
did. We don't have a Kyle.
We don't have a Kyle gift, so I don't want to play a whole video, but we do have. We do have Kyle. Hold on. Let me transition.
Really, I never. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
And here's the Kyle. Where's Kyle?
No, he's the one where it says who's Moon Knight.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Who's Moon Knight?
Who's Moon Knight? I don't know, but the Moon Knight comic's been pretty good. So go check that out.
I always love when Moon Knight picks up, but it needs to maintain. Like last time they had a good launch, and it's like they go so many issues and stop.
Yeah,
that book's been relaunched more times than.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, did you guys see Guardians got canceled?
Good.
The book?
The book.
Good. It was not good. The last time I was on, I ranted about how much
you did.
Book sucked.
I did.
I quit buying it when I went to the store because I was like, I saw the new issue came out this week, and I was like, no, I just got to stop. I'll wait till it's in a quarter bin.
So is Al Ewing just finishing the, what do you call it? The Last Annihilation stuff?
I guess.
Ouch.
I don't know.
I mean, Mike, I've been buying Guardians. I love the book. He wanted to write a Nova book. He didn't want to write a Guardians book. He wrote some stuff for Star-Lord that just changed his character enough that he's not likable. He doesn't understand Rocket. He didn't the book was missing fun.
I like not liking Star-Lord.
Yeah, Star-Lord sucks.
All right. Well, thanks to everybody that watched live. Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Jimmy from earlier, Trailblazing. We appreciate you guys getting up earlier and watching our show.
I mean, you just had to wake up.
Yeah, that's right.
We're here.
Share, like, subscribe. Stay tuned to the channel. Like I said, we have the video for the Netflix recap, and it's not everything. It's just stuff that Oh fuck, that's what I wanted to do. Good. I'm glad I said Netflix. Have y'all seen the Sandman trailer?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't, so let's watch it.
Yes.
Oh, dude, yeah, totally.
I was saving it for this, and I almost missed my saving it for no goddamn
reason. I showed Hazel the Cowboy Bebop opening last night, and then that Sandman trailer, and then we watched an episode of Cowboy Bebop because she had never seen it. So.
Oh, let me know what she thinks, because my only complaint about Cowboy Bebop is that some of the voice acting hasn't aged great.
Yeah, I know. It's she liked what she saw. I think it was. I picked second episode. It's the Stray Dog Strut because who doesn't like dogs? And it was good. It was fun. So I mean, I'm not going to pick the one where like Spike's all emo. You have to build up to that. So
That's true. All right, let me share my screen.
all right, let's do it.
So yeah, let's watch. Let's go
I
ahead
can't
and watch.
believe you haven't watched this.
I can't
I
believe you
saved
haven't
it for the show.
Or you may, or a trailer. How come you didn't watch? You didn't do a trailer thing for that? No Mercy.
The thing you put on the Discord.
Yes.
Clay, that looked weird as shit. And no,
It's because it was weird as shit.
I
don't
made
put
it-
up stuff normal. I mean, who the fuck wants to watch normal?
yeah, I made an executive decision to not do that. But
Yes.
let's go check out the trailer for the first look at Sandman from Neil Gaiman. And let's see. All right, let's check it out.
Yes.
Tonight, we will achieve what no one has even attempted. We will summon and imprison death. I give you a coin made from a stone. And I give you a feather pulled from an angel's wing. I give you the blood from my vein. We summon you together!
Death has family, desire, destiny.
Vin Diesel.
Which one have I got?
Dream. You're gonna need all the help you can get.
So
Wow.
I know when you see him at the end and he has the look, but I love the mask.
I love the mask. Yeah,
Yeah. So, what do you guys know? What volume this may be pulled from?
First
one. It's the
it's
very
from the
first
beginning?
story.
Yeah, when
And-
they kidnap him.
And
Okay.
the thing I find fascinating is they only mention death and desire. So are we not going to get the whole family?
They said despair as well.
Oh, did they say despair? Okay, so
Yeah.
just
Did
but
they
there's-
say Diesel?
No, they left out Diesel. They left out Destruction.
God damn it. But also when they're saying those, you notice they show each of the accoutrements that in the original story he has to go track down.
Yes.
Wow.
So, oh, I'm so excited.
That was good. I'm
It was very
excited. I'm excited for the show. I haven't read a lot of I've read some of the volumes. I haven't read. I think is it Season of the Witch or
Yeah.
What's volume
Oh,
four?
Season of the Mist.
Volume
Season
4. Whenever he I guess takes over. I don't want to go too much into it in case they're gonna do it in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it like that one's probably my favorite. So I'm excited. Like the dude looks great as Dream. Is it Charles? What's his name? Charles Danson?
I don't know. I don't know who the actor is.
It's
I
the
did
guy
the
from
only...
Game of Thrones. It's Tyrion.
Oh,
Tywin.
that guy. Yeah, I thought you were
Tywin
talking
from Game of
about.
Thrones.
I thought you were talking about Dream.
Oh yeah. No. I think I saw a lot of character posters yesterday.
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah,
So
I did too.
that was very
But
cool.
Death didn't have her makeup.
No, she didn't. You're right. Yeah, I only knew it was her because of the hat, and I knew who the actor was playing
Yeah.
her.
Okay.
So my thing as well, like so if they're planning on doing the first volume and that's season 1, if season 2 ends up being the second story, which is my favorite, I am all in. That story is so dark.
It's
I-
horror. It
is.
full on
You-
horror.
Really
You don't-
curious how they're going to do that.
You don't think they could do 2 volumes in one season?
I would hope they wouldn't. I think you've really got to draw it out.
You think one 6? What is it? 6 issues can fill up like I don't know 8 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Or something?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
hell, just look at Preacher season 1. It's basically issue 1 of the book.
Such
Well-
a bad adaptation.
But I mean they've already said that was kind of like season 0.
Right.
Right. It was a prequel to season
But it
1.
didn't
Yeah.
add anything that was enjoyable.
I still liked it. I
Yeah,
really,
me too.
I have a soft spot for that first season of Preacher because it's taking that concept and being like, before the explosion, let's
Yeah.
learn more about the town, and then you get the explosion, right? So here, no, I really think for this to succeed, they have to do a story a season because you need
Yeah.
that drawing out. And then just imagine how poignant if they end it with that first death issue with the kids playing soccer that is just, it's going to hit like a punch in the gut, right? So it's like if they draw it out where, you know, you get the full exploration of that first story and then it ends that way. Oh, it's going to be it's going to be good. So
Yeah. I'm excited. That was good. I'm glad I waited because, it was worth the wait. And
Neil Gaiman I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I know. I was just talking about Neil Gaiman adaptations are very hard to do.
Mhm.
I mean,
it seems like
I
Good
don't think
Omens
we've
is
seen
going well.
good.
I think Good Omens is probably the most successful thing.
I'll go back.
And I'll agree because they're coming back with a second season of
They
Good
are.
Omens.
But hang on, everyone forgets the original adaptation, Neverwhere.
Oh,
And that was good. The actor
true.
playing the
that's true. I forgot about that.
God, what is his name? He's fantastic. I mean, he carries the show. But yeah, Neverwhere is great. Good Omens is great. I've heard the audio version of Sandman is really good. I just got season 1 to listen to it. So I feel like when Neil's involved, they tend to be pretty good adaptations. So
Dead Boy Detectives are showing up in season 3 of Doom Patrol, I hear.
Ooh.
And the Sisterhood of Yaya instead of Brotherhood. Yeah.
The Traveling Pants?
Wait,
No.
is this really the cast of Neverwhere? Like Magneto and Sherlock and not Magneto, sorry.
Call them by their human names.
I forget.
Not their mutant names.
I think I mean it's from the mid 90s. It's it's pretty old.
Yeah, but then there was another remake of it though, right?
Oh, there was?
Of Neverwhere?
Yeah.
I thought that there was 2 versions of Neverwhere.
It's very mid 90s.
So it's got is this
the TV cast?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
all right, so Patterson Joseph, who plays the Marquis, is wonderful. I forgot Capaldi is in it. Jesus. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Gary Bakewell.
I forget her name, but I think I like her. I like the stuff she's been in too.
Yeah.
She was Game of Thrones also. Queen Marguerite, I think. What's her name? Cool.
It's the kind of show that is amazing right up until they have to really double down on special effects, and then that whole scene is just laughable.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then, but everything else around it is fantastic. So,
all right. Well, let's wrap this up because we're at 2.5 hours without Kyle. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We go live most Sundays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we just kind of talk about this. We have plans for October that I will talk to my co-host about after this. But it's going to be skewing towards horror, both comics, comics, TV, and movies, obviously. So, yeah, let me see here. I think that's all. So, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye. And let's get out of here.
Let's ride.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Little loves you.
Oh, yeah. Clay?
Hell, Bebo.
Josh? My vagina is haunted.
All right. Bye.
All right. I've got it now.